Hello, everybody.
Whew, hello everyone.
Oh,
Ah,
hi. Hello.
that was so close. Whew.
Woo! That was we had a
Yeah.
minor technical difficulty at the very last second. So appreciate you guys' patience today. Woo! All right. So we are going to be talking about Chaos Warbands today, right?
Yes. Are you excited
Building
for
them.
this one?
I love the build one. We did a build the Space Marine chapter. That was super fun. I'm expecting a very similar great experience from this one today.
Yes, this is gonna be I am excited. I always love the build stuff because our community always comes up with the craziest things imaginable. And that's the best part of this whole
Yeah,
thing.
I agree. Is the stuff that I would have never thought to do is the stuff that usually happens, and that's what I really like about these shows because I mean the last time we did it, we ended up with a chimeric blend of Raven Guard and Iron Hands, which I was just like, I would have never thought about that in my entire life.
Same.
Wow.
So let's start off by one introducing ourselves.
That's a good idea. Well, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure, why not? So this is Ross. Ross is pretty cool.
Thank you.
He wrote a few books that you guys might be interested in, including the entirety of the Dark Heresy series, which is super awesome, and I definitely recommend it. Is one of my favorite elements of Warhammer 40K, and he's been at Games Workshop for a while. Recently, you are working on projects with who is it? You're doing the superhero thing.
Yeah, that's tabletop role playing. That's not miniature gaming or 40K, so it's not a
No,
big
but that's
deal.
still cool.
Thank you. I'm glad, and I didn't not the entirety of Dark Heresy, but most of Dark Heresy. So we'll go with
The good parts.
that. Ooh. Well, I do appreciate the guidance there. This is my co-host Alexis. She is a commission painter for all kinds of miniatures. She is a nationally ranked tournament player in Iceland, and she's a cosplayer and voice actress. Her cosplay is outstanding, by the way. If you haven't seen her Sister of Battle stuff, it's awesome.
I still have to finish my Escher cosplay.
For Clan Escher from Necromunda. Oh,
Yep.
that's that'd be cool. That'd be
Yep.
cool. They're probably one of my favorite gangs.
They are the best gang in all of Necromunda.
Oof. Ooh, that's bold words.
Hands down. They have jet bikes.
Well, yeah.
More like rocket cycles, but they kind of fly.
They also have drugs, lots and lots of drugs.
Yes. And they could affect the Marines, which is crazy.
Well, so today we're going to be talking about build your own Chaos Warband. We've got a cool Google Doc that we will be referencing, and there's some random tables. We're not going to be rolling dice, though. We're going to be giving you guys the options. I am the master of the polls today, so I will be over here setting up polls for you guys to kind of vote on what option you would like.
Ross is all over those polls. I had to make the joke. But first, we should probably explain what is a Chaos Warband.
Exactly true. So in the Universal Warhammer 40K, most Chaos Warbands are those that are led by or directed by Chaos Space Marines, which are renegade or corrupted or traitorous Space Marines that maybe once served the Imperium. There are Chaos Warbands that are made up with, well, we're going to get into it because there's technically there's a distinction between Chaos Space Marines and the Lost and the Damned, which is all the mutants and cults and renegade Astra Militarum units and things like that. But yeah, the core of what we're talking about today is a Chaos Space Marine warband.
Does it have to be fully Chaos Space Marine?
No, not entirely. No. I've got plans to add non-Space Marine stuff as well, but I just want to be clear, like, this is to give the option to field this on the tabletop, right? Just like we did with the Gorgon's Talons, which is our Space Marine chapter. We need to start with something that can be fielded on the tabletop, which is Chaos Space Marines.
Yes, it can. So warbands are typically a mix and match of a whole bunch of different armies and everything. Like the most famous one currently is one that you can field right now. It's the Disciples of Be'lakor, or the something something of Be'lakor. They change the detachment with every edition, but Be'lakor has a detachment that lets you play Chaos Space Marines, Knights, and Demons all at the same time. And in Chaos Space Marines, you can play elements of Renegade Guard as well as Cults and then Mutants, as well as Beastmen are also present in the Chaos Space Marine Codex. The
Which are mutants.
Yep. Chaos Space Marine Codex also strongly hints that there could be some non-marine Marines in there. Like, technically, the Thousand Suns, there's nothing marine about them anymore, just their armor. They are dust inside there.
Not all of them are dust. Most of them.
Not all of them. A lot of them, the sorcerers still have some fleshy bits.
Correct.
And a lot of Chaos Space Marines tend to just mutate into their armor. So they just take a person, shove them in armor, and then mutate them with chaos powers, turning them into whatever the heck an 8-bound is.
Well, yeah, there's the history of Chaos Space Marines goes way back. We could talk about the original Obliterators. We could talk about my favorite guy, Doom Rider. We could talk about all kinds of stuff from the olden days. But I think keeping it fresh and current is the right idea. So we're gonna be designing a Chaos Warband, not necessarily out of the Codex per se, but one that you could potentially field out of that Codex.
Yep.
And let's see. So I've got the tables up. I've got the polls ready. Have you got the page ready?
I do.
All right. Do we want to read super chats before we jump in?
Yeah, I think we do.
Because there's quite
a few.
Fast. Yeah, you've been throwing them in real fast. And before I start, I want to say on behalf of Alexis and I both, we really appreciate the super chats. That's what keeps us going, keeps the show supported, and we really, really need you guys because that's the only way it's going to keep going.
My plastic crack addiction is dependent on this.
Grim Isaac, great seeing you, buddy. I vote we canonize the Sons of Malice and Lorebeards.
Okay, all right.
Sons of Malice.
I think the Sons of Malice are going to be our fishmen.
They might be. It's been mentioned a few times.
They're brought up all the time. They are just mostly a joke now, and I love that the fan base is just like, Sons of Malice are cool.
All right, Matthew Lowry, 1084. Welcome, sir. Excited for a live one. Chaos is always wild. Reading Heresy Third was nuts, and I think Perturabo is what he means here, was a sad boy. Y'all doing great. Noticed improvement since first time. Thank you. Hey, appreciate that. I've been actually going back and watching some of the old shows and saying, okay, I need to do less of this, more of that. Appreciate you keeping an eye on us, though.
The one thing that I need to focus on is not interrupting you, but I keep hearing a cutout and I'm like, okay, now I can speak because I don't look at the screen at the same time. So I hear a slight pause for a second and I'm like, okay, I can add something. Or I try to add on to what you're doing. And yeah, we're starting to get it. We got a rhythm now. I love it.
Yeah, it's been a really great experience so far. What's the next one? Gideon Gleeful 95. If Zinchian, we're already looking ahead, had an idea for the leader's weapon, the Quill Blade, a magical crystal sword that looks like a feather and turns the souls of those slain into magic ink. I love this idea. Pen and sword are mightier. This is rad as hell.
I can add to this just a little bit. That sounds like a corrupted version of our loyal chapter of Space Marines weapons.
Interesting connection, but I do love the general idea is just fantastic. I'm a big fan of that.
I also just love like Chaos Space Marine weapons. Like they're all like the demon weapons specifically. They're all like something crazy. Like Drachnion is the first instance of the feeling of murdering somebody, which is an awesome thing, and it's why the Emperor can't destroy it because it is heavily implied that he's the one that made Drachnion. And that's why Drachnion is so powerful. You have Mariel Sabathiel's sword that makes you turn into something from the Crystal Forest, which is part of the realm of Slanesh because it hits you with all sensations all at once, and then you're frozen in that forever. These weapons are just so cool.
Well, I think if you're okay with it, I'm actually fine just putting that in. Just like that is the leader's weapon.
Oh, yeah. Let me just hang on, I gotta copy and paste this. Oh, that is so difficult to copy and paste. I will add it later, I promise.
Consider that one in, though. I love the quill blade is cool as hell. Biofoot 7874 says a mixed species warband would be dope as hell. Agreed.
Yeah.
I wish there were more options, especially like some of the creatures that hang out with the Drukhari, like the Chimera.
Yes.
Chimera would be awesome to throw into a Chaos Warband, stuff like that.
Chaos Space Marines need to be riding giant dragons into battle. That's
well, the Helldrake is a dragon, right? I mean, they just can't ride it.
So the Helldrake is the Chaos version of an Interceptor, which is the one from Heresy, which then the pilot fused with it when they went into the warp because those ships were hung outside of Guller Fields, and the pilots fused with them and became Helldrakes.
Okay, and well, it's like a dragon.
Yeah, they can build Helldrakes, but they can also just make Helldrakes by space magic.
A lot of things happen by space magic in 40K.
That is one of my favorite catch-alls. Is like, how did Planet Killer come back? Space magic.
Skatari Boy, welcome, Skatari Boy. It's always good to see you. I hope these also get turned into Zangors.
I'm sensing a lot of Zinchian stuff.
I'm feeling the Zinch. I'm feeling the change coming along here. It's time for a change, I think. Gideon Gleeful 95 says, going off Biofit's idea, what if this one had a special rule they are okay with non-human cultists, so they could have Chaos Kroot, for example? Yeah, well, so first of all, I like the idea of being okay with non-human cultists.
Yes.
Big fan. Chaos Kroot, a little bit tougher, because they just generally don't eat chaos corrupted meat, like we discussed in our episode, but I'm willing to stipulate that if you guys really want Chaos Kroot, we could come up with a way, like this was the only way they could survive, is to eat chaos stuff and become chaotic.
I have something even darker than that. Okay. We go down the Slaanesh route for the Chaos Kroot, and the Slaaneshi Marines, depending on what they are force feeding the Kroot. Because to them, forcing them to mutate and then fight each other, and then forcing them to mutate and fight each other, gives them pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say Chaos Kroot are definitely an option. Yes.
They're on the table now.
They're on the table. I guess I'm going to try and pronounce this. Sayez00. Welcome, Sayez000. It's my birthday, so this is a good present. Happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday. And then
Super Orlock, yeah, gives us a cat face. He's happy about this as well. Thank you, Super Orlock.
There we go. Sorry, I just had to answer something really quickly and cross that out.
Ricky Chapman, 3377. More mutants. Also, we like that some warbands are making their own gene-enhanced pseudo-marines to make up for lack of gene seed.
I am saying this right now. When the Disciples of Bile came out, GW missed a golden opportunity to make the Glandhounds an actual model kit. That is such a missed opportunity, and I'm so mad about that.
Agreed. The Gene Father, Fabius Bile. I think gene-enhanced pseudo-marines is on the table. Chaos Warbands they don't have a lot of restrictions, and they're not big fans of rules. So Sayez00, thank you again. I'm a bit out of left field, but in fantasy, Andy and Ryan theorizes Be'lakor could be an elf. Do you guys think in 40K universe same could be the truth? Very doubtful.
Yeah, I strongly doubt it, because 40K has a hard line for some reason for a lot of demon princes to be human. I don't know why, but this has kind of like been the thing that GW's pushed for a long time. And I think it has more to do with their products than it does their lore.
As far as I know, all the demon princes in 40K are humans, or were humans. And my understanding is, at least what was explained to me several years ago from the head of IP, was that Eldar do not physically mutate. They only get corrupted in their sanity, if you will. Like they can become more depraved or more insane. So yeah, I'm very skeptical that Be'lakor in 40K could be an Eldar, but which are the space elves of 40K, just to be really clear what we're talking about. Interesting idea though, and I mean, like, it really poses some really interesting follow-on questions. Like, can Be'lakor have two different origins based on where he is, or actually multiple origins? Because there's Age of Sigmar too, right? Like, he could have.
There's Age of Sigmar. He's not in old world, but he's in old fantasy. He's in Mordheim, where I think he was created, right?
That's the first time. Well, yeah, there was kind of a mysterious dark force in Mordheim that later on, I think people were like, "This is Be'lakor." That's what I recall, is that they linked it to Be'lakor and made him the Mordheim guy. So yeah, that's, you know what, fascinating questions, but I'm just going to say highly unlikely. The Exiled One, 8002, welcome. Could they Silver Surfer on the Helldrake? Yeah, why not?
Yes, they could.
Why not? New Boot Goof.
It's a great name.
It is, and the pancakes. Tzeentchians that are constantly getting older or younger, maybe based on emotions. See Steven Universe.
Oh, that would. So would they? Well, that would be so awkward to like try to make an effective unit out of.
Well, I mean, they do it. They make awkward units work in 40K a lot of times just by sort of saying, well, this is the one time when they're ready to fight, and there they go. So maybe it's a possibility. Tzeentchian changing your age is right up that alley. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to say tentatively yes on that. Tentatively yes. Super Orlok, possible Beastman pseudo marines. Metal, absolutely metal.
So this is more possible than a lot of people think, because if we look at the line for the World Eaters right now, they're slowly becoming more and more like their demon counterpart, where they're getting the horns and the the goat-like face, or the whatever GW is trying to make the bloodletters now, because they used to be goats, then they weren't, and now they're their own kind of thing.
Beastman Pseudomarines, it would be funny, says Super Warlock. It would be funny. And awful and great, which is what Chaos Warbands love. So yeah, I think that's a good idea, don't you, Alexis?
I do.
Gideon Gleeful 95. It does seem odd that the Dark Mechanicum doesn't use more alien tech. They don't have the same restrictions as the Mechanicus.
I have a theory for this one. They are so set in their ways, because they're still, again, think of them like the Martians and everything, where they're set in their ways, but they think they're so superior to everyone else that their tech is just better. That's how I justify them making like the demon engines and things like that, where it's like, yeah, well, we made it, so it's better than alien tech. We don't need pathetic alien tech, because the Imperium does have this dogma of alien tech is not more advanced than their own tech, even though it is. They won't admit it. They'll just be like, it's different technology, thus lesser. But it can teleport you around the entire galaxy. That's garbage.
Alexis has hit some very important points here, getting gleeful. So let me try and answer this a little bit along those lines. The Dark Mechanicum is... They are very interested in their own adaptations and their own innovations. There's an element of ego to it where they're like, yeah, our stuff is just better. But it also, you got to remember also that even the Dark Mechanicum was part of the overall human sphere, if you will. You know, before the schism on Mars, they were definitely like, yeah, humanity ascendant, right? Like that was definitely a part of their mindset. I'm sure there are some individual Dark Mechanicum guys that are really interested and fascinated by alien technology, but by and large, I think it is fair to say that most Dark Mechanicum Magos, or Magi, whatever you want to do the plural of that is,
Majoses,
Maguses, I'm not sure. Anyway, those guys are A, focused on their own work, B, have a long history of disdaining alien technology, and C, the warp is such a big playground for technology, it's hard to see them getting bored with messing around with the warp and technology. So
yeah,
I think that would be my explanation for it. But I think you're right that it's odd that they don't use more alien tech, especially given that they are freer from restrictions.
I
So
think the weird thing is the Dark Mechanicum doesn't, but the Chaos Space Marine they do. The Thousand Suns will, as you saw in Space Marine 2, use the Necron pylons to boost their psychic potential. The Abaddons, the Black Legion, will use the Necron pylons, will use Blackstone fortresses. They have no problem with these things. They'll have ways of going through the webway, and they have no problem using this technology, but it's not used in large by Chaos Space Marines. So when we say something like the Black Legion uses this, the Black Legion is several thousand warbands in a trench coat. With Abaddon poking his head out.
Yeah.
Um,
I see you've adopted my terminology.
But it's true, though, in this case.
Yeah.
You know, I like the terminology, too, because I keep thinking 3 kobolds in a trench coat. But when Abaddon uses it, it's because he has an understanding of its technology. But it doesn't mean like his Herald of the Apocalypse understands it. It doesn't mean that Iskandar Kion understands it.
Ooh, Iskandar. That's a cool dude. We need to talk about Iskandar sometime.
Yes, yes.
Very cool dude.
He is by far the sexiest Thousand Sun.
Oh, wow. Armin might have a word about that. But
nah, Armin's too busy losing.
Woo, I don't know. He's done a lot. He's achieved some pretty big goals, but fair enough.
Like watching the Thousand Suns be recreated in front of him and then destroyed.
Wow. Oof. All right.
You know the exact story I'm talking about, too.
I do. All right, Skitari boy. My idea for a hopeful future Chaos army to collect is going mainly for cultists and demon engines. Interesting. With minimized Marines and some kit bash dark mech. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Dig it.
So this army list actually is ridiculously good right now. It's a Vashtor style list, and all it does is you take Hellbrutes and Vindicators, the Forge Fiends, and you just take them in triplicates. You just take demon engines, and you take a few cultist mobs to just grab your objectives, and the Hellbrutes give you lethal and sustained hits so that your units just destroy enemy units so quickly. It's such a powerful list, and if your opponents are not used to that in the meta, they will be annihilated by this very quickly. You won't score too high because once your opponent figures out, hey, all I have to do is kill 30 cultists, you don't gain any points, but your opponent will have a very uphill battle. It'll be a very low point game, but you'll probably win.
Skitari boy also follows up with they would be Vashtor followers, obviously. The Dark Mechanicum connection to Vashtor probably is a big part of that. Yeah, I agree.
That is one thing I need explored in the lore right now with Vashtor. He kind of came out of nowhere and disappeared.
Yeah, it's like, hey, here he is, and then silence. It's like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? I would like to know more.
Brand new character. He gets beaten by Be'lakor. What?
Well, he has a cool model. Gideon Gleeful says, could you create pseudo-marines by putting a normal human brain in an Ogren, then making it work with chaos magic? Totally no side effects. Sarcasm. Yeah. This sounds like a really convoluted way to go about it.
So this is called the Creations of Bile, where they're not Space Marines, but he's trying to build something better than Space Marines.
This is definitely some mad scientist bullshit. I agree. This is some 40K Frankenstein stuff. It's a cool idea. I want to be clear. It's cool. It's just it's very unusual, and that's why I was like, wait a minute, what?
Okay, we caught up with the super chats.
Hooray! And I need to actually get that first poll prep. So why don't you start talking about that first option on the list, which is, are we going to be a Legion Warband or a Renegade chapter?
Oh, okay. So I'll talk about the differences between the two really quickly. What is a Legion Warband? A Legion Warband is more hearken to the original 9 legions that fell to chaos: Iron Warriors, World Eaters, Thousand Suns, the rest that are not important. Night Lords are one of them,
Woo!
though.
They're high in the Horus Heresy meta right now. Them and Iron Warriors are like
Yeah.
rocking in the tabletop game.
Yes, they are. Where Renegade chapter is a chapter like Horan Blackheart who didn't want to pay taxes and then fell to chaos.
I mean, it's slightly more complicated than that, but you did hit on one of the major gripes about the Astral Claws before they turn into the Red Corsairs. It has more to do with like whose authority they fell under, and Huron was actually like in command of an entire sector, like he was kind of the overseer of the Badab sector. So yeah. But you're right. I mean, it does kind of come down to taxes. What about a renegade from a Legion warband as an option? I mean, that's sorry, I was reading one of the comments here. Rush 21129. What about renegade from a Legion warband as an option? I mean, yes, but at the end of the day, that's still a Legion warband.
Yes.
Because, and this is really important to remember, is that during the heresy, which is where we get all the Traitor Space Marines, at least originally, there were loyalists and traitors on every legion. Even the Ultramarines had guys that were like, no, Horus is right. So, the fact that they're a legion just means you're limiting it to heresy era, as opposed to Renegade chapter, which is post-heresy era, which gives you more options, but some of those are less flavorful. So it's really just your choice. What do you guys think is the one you want to go with?
Now, I personally, whenever I do Chaos Space Marines, I always lean towards Renegade chapters based around like a character that's charismatic that can unify some Chaos Space Marines and some humans under their belt so that they can destroy their enemies. I have a character from Black Crusade that I made as edgy as possible. Her name is what is it? Umbra Nox. So dark.
Or Shadow of Night is another way.
Yeah, exactly. But her whole thing is that she rides this was made before this character became an actual thing, a unit on the tabletop. She rides what are they called? Oh my god, I'm forgetting. The Chaos Rhinos. What are they called?
I mean, rhinos? I mean, I don't know if they have a different name.
Blood Crushers. She rides a Blood Crusher.
Oh, okay. That's like a special version of one of those. Okay.
Yeah, and she
when you said rhino, you meant the animal.
Yes.
Not the transport.
No.
That's why I got... Okay, I'm an idiot. Sorry. I was like, wait, what? It's like they just call them rhinos.
But yeah, she's this crazy homebrew character I made, and her whole thing is, on one hand, she has an MIU'd grappling hook that she shoots out at people like Scorpion.
Get over here.
And she pulls them in, and she has a chain sight that she puts on the ground and just slowly drags you through it as she kills you. And yeah.
Micah points out those creatures are called juggernauts. That is correct.
Yes. But her whole warband is mostly World Eater base, but she does have some Nurgle units in it, mostly to keep the crew alive from her rampages, because, and she's a corrupted sister of battle.
All right, so I'm going to give like 30 more seconds to get your vote in, and then we're going to close that poll because we do need to move on. There's a lot of choices we're going to make today about our Chaos Warband, and the first one is now here. So get your vote in. Alexis, what is your favorite Traitor Legion?
I don't know. What could it be?
I'm guessing Emperor's Children. They are really cool.
So
they're really cool.
I absolutely do love the Emperor's Children. I like them right after they fell to chaos and they get all corrupted and everything. But there is just a simplicity to the World Eaters that I absolutely love. Also, the World Eaters have Latara Saran, and she is like the greatest character in all of Chaos.
Latara is a very interesting character. She's one of the very few women in the Horus Heresy that has a big impact. And I really wish she had an official model that you could field.
She does.
Well,
it's coming out.
That you could field.
She has rules.
She does have rules. Okay,
she does. They're actually crazy good too. Every turn she can call down the Ursus claws. She
Okay.
literally harpoons the planet and kills things with them.
All right. Well, she's then that yeah, she's super rad and a very interesting member of the world leaders.
The thing that bugged me about her model is it was shown 6 months ago, and it's taken so long for us to get it. And now we have the new Angron coming out as well, the
So
Heresy era Angron.
we are a renegade chapter according to chat. All right. So here's let's see. There are 13 options. We need to narrow down to 4 somehow.
Oh, jeez.
So
there we
go. We've got Exiles, Guilt by Association, which is the Astral Claw type thing. Lure Forbidden Knowledge, Fighting Heresy with Heresy, Well-Intentioned Betrayal, which is, I think, the
that's one we have to add.
Soul Drinkers, yeah. Sins of the Fathers, basically you have a Progenitor that was a Traitor Legion. I don't like that one. I think we can cut that one out. Slow Downfall is also probably we can cut that one out. Excommunicado, which is where the ecclesiarchy was like, you are heretics.
Yeah.
That's what happened to the Knights of Blood. Well, it was an Inquisitor, not the ecclesiarchy, but really close. Poison from Within is like a demon weapon or something like that. Whispers from the Warp is.
I do like the demon weapon one.
Okay, all right. So let me start making this poll here. We know the first one we really like is Well-Intentioned Betrayal.
Yep, I like the demon weapon.
That's Poison from Within.
Yep.
And we get 2 more. So let's see. Great Shame, which is on the brink of annihilation. They did some kind of cowardly or horrible action to preserve their chapter. Unacceptable Mutation and Xenophiles is the last one where they were just hanging out with aliens too much.
Oh, that one's boring.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the one where they do a desperate thing, because that's the Death Guard one.
Great Shame, yep.
And then what was the one before it?
Poison from Within or Whispers of the Warp, which is Poison from Within is already on the list. Sorry. Whispers from the Warp is that they were stationed in an area with powerful warp presence. They got gradually corrupted over time. That one. Okay. So that's 4 options.
All right.
And I will start that poll. So you guys can get going on that right now.
Oh, heck yeah. This is going to be awesome. I love the whole idea of being poisoned from within, just because that reminds me of just like, I wanted to say Death Guard, but it's not Death Guard. It's, no, that's, I'm drawing a blank. Sorry. I completely, I saw the Legion and then it just vanished from my mind, like freaking Naruto doing a teleportation. Just
believe it.
I'm just like, dang it.
Dang it. Well, I'm going to grab that. I'm going to grab that page really quick, unless you want to bring it up now, and we can start keeping track of all these choices that we're making.
I am trying to fix some of the document really quickly so that I can use it a bit better. I'm trying to fix the formatting so that I can.
Okay, well, I'll just talk in general about Chaos Warbands then. Yes. So for everybody that's wondering how a chapter would fall to chaos, it can be sudden, it can be gradual, it can be because of necessity, like the Soul Drinkers or the Knights of Blood. It can be by choice. Huron Blackheart made a choice. That's one of the reasons why the Austraclaws are now the Red Corsairs. It can be a case of something external, like a demon weapon or whispers from the warp that gets into their heads. But for me, I like the ones where somebody makes a decision, but whether that's out of desperation or not, because that is a really good narrative hook. If it's something you could have chosen differently, but instead went this direction. That's more interesting than, oh no, space magic warped me, at least in my opinion.
The thing that I love adding about that one that you just said is that's the plot of Dawn of War 2.
Yeah.
Is somebody on your team makes a desperate action and becomes corrupted because of it. It's also Typhus becoming desperate to save the Legion and going to chaos. and thus corrupting the whole chapter. The Whispers of Chaos was the Loreblade talking to Fulgrim.
And possessing him, yeah.
And then, eventually possessing him until Fulgrim gets a new writer, and that writer didn't know what to do with him, so he just had him be like, I was always Fulgrim, which I'm still miffed about.
So, can we bring up that page yet, or should I keep stalling?
Yeah. I can... Wait, do you want me to bring up the actual webpage?
I mean, if it would be helpful to see, for everybody to see what choices they've made so far. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, let me grab it really quickly. Where are you? What is the name of this?
I can grab it if you'd prefer.
I got it.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, whoops, sorry. I hit the button.
There it is. Okay, so we are doing a renegade chapter. Why did they become corrupted? You got 30 seconds to put in your vote, and then I will close that poll. But I'm excited to see this because, as you can see, there's so many more choices we're gonna talk about. And trust me, there's going to be some twists and turns along the way. I'm pretty excited about this. So here we go. Closing the poll.
Okay. I also need to grab
Poison from Within is the answer.
Ooh, I like that.
So let's brainstorm this a little bit. So it could be the classic Poison from Within is a demon weapon. It's some sort of device or sword. It could be the Quill Blade, which we've talked about. The Quill Blade is cool enough, I think, to be the demon weapon, honestly. But it plants a seed of corruption in the heart of the chapter. And this will just grow until somebody notices, probably, I don't know, an Inquisitor or something like that. And then once that information's out there, the chapter is now considered excommunicated. They are considered a renegade chapter. So unless there's any great outcry against it, I think we should put Quillblade as the demon weapon.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Which I think we are definitely leaning towards Tzeentch right now at the moment. The Quillblade makes you bleed ink. I love that. All right, so the next thing we need to talk about is who our progenitor is, and I think this will be pretty simple poll right off the bat, because really there's two choices. Are they a Traitor Legion or no, they'd have to be loyalists, wouldn't they? Because
they don't have to be. Yeah, it has to be a loyalist,
right?
So my thinking for this is that this has to happen post Psychic Awakening. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the Quill Blade is something that I don't want to say they find it. I want to say that the chapter master defeats an enemy and like the weapon calls to them, or as they're fighting, they wield the weapon and don't know how it happened. Because that's very Tzeentchian. Like in that moment of time, they made a deal with Tzeentch to defeat an enemy that Tzeentch put in front of them.
That's kind of the story of the Thousand Suns as well. Like,
yes,
they were connived and schemed into a position where they had to make a choice. I threw up a poll with 4 options. Again, this maximum I can choose. I just picked the 4 that I thought were the most interesting. But we can. We will see what you guys think about these. So Rush 21129. This time I'm getting it right. Unless they went Renegade from after Chaos Primarch unified their Legion. Well, that would be if we were talking about Legions, talking about a chapter. So it's post heresy.
Well, I think what they might mean is something similar to like the Sons of the Phoenix, where they were loyal. They are a loyal chapter, but then since they have connections to a Chaos chapter, potentially, like if the Emperor's Children call all of their sons, they fall to Chaos because of that.
Oh, huh.
So they could have been a loyal chapter that Belisarius Call created out of Traitor Gene Seed, and then all of a sudden, like Magnus calls all of his sons, and they answer.
So that's that. As far as we know, Call made all his guys from Loyalist Gene Seed. Just to be clear, that's as far as we know. But interesting idea. So are these, I guess that'd be the next poll I put up is, are they firstborn or are they Primaris? Because, well, no, we'll have to go with firstborn, right? Because if you want to field them on the tabletop, they have to be firstborn.
Yeah.
Okay, so it has to be firstborn. I'm not even gonna worry about that. Okay, got 30 seconds before I close this poll, and we talk about what our progenitor is.
And
do we have
let's
super
read
chats?
some super chats.
Yeah, let's do that. Gideon Gleeful, possible origin if we want heavy cultist use. They were tired of being limited to by 1,000 troops, so they made heavy use of chapter serfs, and so etc. The Inquisition got involved, led to conflict, and then they fled and fell. That's a pretty interesting backstory.
I do like that a lot.
I dig that a lot. I don't want to make this just the Gideon Gleeful warband, but he's got some damn good ideas. He's got some damn good ideas.
He does.
That's a good one. Friend or Trader says demon weapon or infiltrated by the Alpha Legion. Well,
why not both?
Porque no los dos. Yeah. I don't know. See, Alpha Legion is such a weird connection to make. It's those guys.
I feel like it's reaching.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Alpha Legion is something we will cover here, and the short version is they're always going to be different than the last time you saw them. No matter what you think about the Alpha Legion, it's not necessarily true because the next time they're shown, they're going to be slightly different. Yep. Inconsistency. Thy name is Alpha Legion. Grim Isaac says, if betray and poison are close, could we have an Erebus? Erebus.
Erebus is fun. It could be a chaplain that hands them the blade.
The quill blade could be handed to them by a chaplain.
Oh, I could actually see this too. The chapter master weapon gets shattered, and as he's feinting a withdrawal, the chaplain hands him his weapon, and it's actually just a Tzeentch sorcerer handing him the quill blade. Or it could be a undivided character handing him this way it's not just tied to Magnus.
There's some interesting ideas there. Grim Isaac, good looking out because Erebus is kind of a bastard. Ricky Chapman 3377, Chaos Wolves could be fun. I agree.
Yeah,
totally agree. And anything else? Okay, Gideon Gleeful back again. Love you, sir. So combining the idea, maybe the Quill Blade gives them the idea to overuse chapter serfs and so on, which gradually led to Inquisition being involved, and that leads to conflict and then fleeing. I mean, I'm
a little meh about this one.
Yeah, the general idea is really cool. I don't know if connecting it to the Quill Blade is great, but keep coming. You've got some really good thoughts here. Keep them coming. Says 00 says they are arch enemies of the Peacock chapter we created previously. Gorgon's Talons are arch enemies of this warband. Absolutely. Make it so. Make it so.
Where's the arch enemies part?
Down at the bottom. Warband enemies is one of the last things. Gorgon's Talons. Yeah, I agree. That's a good one. Very good.
A good one.
All right, we got any more? Is that it? Okay, then I'm going to close the poll.
Yep.
All right, poll is now closed. And chat says that our chapter progenitor are the Space Wolves. Dun, dun, dun. Okay.
I like that a lot.
Anybody who remembers my 13th Company stream I did on my own around Christmas, we mentioned that there's this stone table called the Great Annalus that the Space Wolves have. And there's a black stone that is blank. And they leave that stone blank for renegades, destroyed groups, and the 13th Company. So that black stone on the table now represents our chapter as well, our warband. Go ahead, Alexis. You were going to say something.
I got something cool. So during the Wrath of Magnus, after the Dark Angels fought them, it could be that some of the surviving Space Wolves that were pulled into the warp with Magnus being, sucked back in, they could be the progenitors of the chapter.
I dig it. But
so that's up to the chat.
We now have a poll that's going to be fairly easy to do. It's going to be a poll about the warband beliefs. Are we going to be in with the Chaos Gods or not? Are we going to be doing our own thing? So there's 4 options here. The one that's the most commonly picked is they do worship a specific Chaos God. And we've mentioned Tzeentches, they're kind of leaning that direction so far as creativity. But there are Chaos warbands that are undivided. They're just like, nope, Chaos in general. We don't have a specific God we follow. There are Chaos Warbands that are kind of neutral. They're just like, if you want to worship the gods, cool. It's not really our thing. Think Huron Blackheart and the Red Corsairs. They don't have a specific. Go ahead.
Weirdly enough, I would also add into that exact category the Night Lords.
Sure. Yeah, Night Lords also are like they're mostly neutral. Although I would, if you ask me, the one category is loathing of the Chaos Gods. There are warbands that are just like, we want nothing to do with chaos, and I think Night Lords are maybe more that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And Creations of Bile as well.
Right. So loathing, neutral, undivided, or specific god are the 4 choices. I will be throwing those into the poll just a second. What is your particular choice that you think you would like?
I like them being god worshippers. As much as lame as it is, I really like the idea that they embody something else of the chaos gods. So like Tzeentch's schemes is like the 1,000 suns. This could be the chapter denying people knowledge, which is another thing that Tzeentch does, because it both takes and gives knowledge, because Tzeentch is a massive hypocrite. Or it could be how to put it. They're the ones that break plans. They're oh my god, what is it called? When you suddenly appear. Why am I drawing blanks at words?
I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm lost too.
Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. When something pops into a story and saves the day, like immediately.
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, they're the Deus Ex Machina of bad plans.
Okay, yeah. And who's this that you're saying?
That would be this chapter.
Oh, right. They're the ones that should. Because they're Tzeentchian, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And they're like, haha, you thought clearly we had planned ahead, and therefore that's why we appeared when we did. Oh no, we may have made a mistake. That would be very classic Tzeentchian as well. So 30 seconds more, and I will close that poll, but y'all have time, just a little more time to talk about it. The
let's answer some
Harbinger. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah. Harbinger 444 says, grandfather approves and grants you further blessings in the form of $10. Thank you, sir. Keep up the great work. We appreciate you. And I see that you are a Nurgle worshiper. I do appreciate that.
I saw a beautiful Great Unclean one today, because the painting competition is going on here in Iceland. And I entered Miao Ying into it, the dragon. And I have to say the dragon, because not the human version of her. But there's a Great Unclean one in the cabinet. It looks so good.
Nurgle for a long time ruled the Gold Demons. I want to say in the early 2000s, there were several years where it was just Nurgle. Super Orlock says, perhaps they could start as a Tzeentch warband, but fall into Undivided once the regular Marines learn more about chaos. Agreed. I think for the poll, we're talking about where they are now, not where they started. So just to be really clear, when you're voting in the poll, it's for who they are right now. But
this sounds more like a chaos belief.
It's a good point. All right, do we have any more that we need to read before I?
Yes, we do. We have quite a few.
Biofoot 7874 says they must worship Blittlepop, the All-See Mother. I think he means Blipdul Ploop, which is the Sahuagin goddess under the sea. In D&D, it's a Dungeons and Dragons goddess.
These are words.
I know, yeah. I think that's who he's talking about, but this is a Fishman reference, I'm pretty sure.
God damn it, we keep getting Fishman.
I know. When we do our Abhumans episode, oh my gosh. Gideon Gleeful says, could be a chapter that strives for change. Yeah. Very progressive, yes, it could be. It could be.
Here's our chapter master, Barack Obama.
Hope and change. There were Tzeentchian memes about Obama.
Yes, there were, and I love them.
New Boot Goof. Eat enemies to gain their knowledge. Space Marines can, in fact, do that. And that would help with the crude thing. So, also hyenas. Hyenas like they're not Space Wolves anymore. They're hyenas.
I kind of like that. I can dig that.
I like it too. We'll tentatively put that down as one of the name of their warband. Hyenas. We've got one more from Goose-mooch, maybe a Wendigo themed chapter. Well, eating flesh is
Ooh,
starting to become a thing. I like that a lot, and Wendigos are super cool. So
I do
closing
really
that
like
poll
I do really like the Wendigo thing. I'm not gonna lie, the Wendigo thing is
is
getting
rad.
me.
It's rad, and it's very Space Wolfy. So the poll says 37% just barely beat Chaos Undivided, worshiping a specific chaos god. Well, you know what the next thing is. I'm putting up a poll to talk about which god it's going to be.
You got to add Malal. He'll be the fifth choice, the one that's not there.
Okay. Well, I'd have to cut one of the other four though.
No, I was joking that there's only 4 choices, so Malal being included would be dropped off immediately.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you're serious, I can get rid of one of the other ones, but
All right. I think we have to go Zinch though.
well,
If there's a tie, we're going with both.
I think that's a good one. Let's
Yeah.
do if it's a tie, yeah. It's certainly leaning Zinch, and a lot of the answers that we've gotten so far have been very Zinchian, and I like that. It's not what I would have picked, which is why it's really exciting.
Yeah.
So
I
that
really like the idea that they're Wendigos. That's pretty nuts.
it is.
Like Wendigo hyena people. Like
Yeah. Well, the Canis Helix can represent itself in a slightly different direction than wolf. It could be more hyena.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the wolfman could be kind of our possessed marines or something like that.
Oh my god, I just realized it could be a rune priest that it gets stuck in the warp and he tries to channel from Fenrir, and the thing that answers is Zinch.
It's not Fenrir.
Yeah.
Fenris, you mean? I think Fenris. Yeah.
Yes, Fenris. Sorry, my bad. But that is so sick.
Here's a comment that's interesting. Ryan Von Ager says, counterpoint, Chaos Warband that follows Bellicor, and they are good at almost winning. Whoa, poor Bellicor.
I mean, Bellicor got a legion and then immediately won with it. So maybe Bellicor's thing is that he has to drop his army, get a new army, and then he can win a battle.
Let's I think we may have some super chats here to read while this poll is running.
I'm bringing this one back up because yes,
Goose-mooch. Yep. Ricky Chapman, 3377. Maybe they could reference Zuvasan, a minor chaos god in fantasy whose whole thing is ruining plots and scheming. That sounds like a Zinchian greater demon in 40k. I mean, that's what I would do. I would, I just use the same name.
Oh, that's their chapter master's name.
Zuvasan. Make it so.
Yeah, that
Zuvasan is the name of the chapter master. That would be.
I'm just gonna put it down here from now.
That's fine. Perfectly fine. Zuvasan, the chapter master. I like it. Got another one here from Gideon Gleeful. If we go down,
you took it away as I was trying to spell it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
IN is the last 2 letters.
Yep. I had to look at 2 different screens, so my brain just stopped trying to type.
Gideon Gleeful says, if we go down eating dead enemies, what about the jackals? Jackals are a form of, like, they're very close to hyenas. It also fits with Anubis and the Thousand Sons Egyptian theme. A little bit. Remember that the Thousand Sons Egyptian stuff is a kind of a light, it's like a sprinkling on top of their chapters. They are pseudo-Egyptian, but they're not like super Egyptian. They're not Tomb Kings in space, for example, the Tomb Kings are very, very Egyptian.
I mean, the Tomb Kings in space are the Necrons,
which are only mild, like on the very, again, there's not a strong Egyptian flavor there. But I like the jackals. Jackals is kind of cooler than hyena, frankly, a little bit.
I strongly disagree.
Okay,
hyenas way cooler, and I think that needs to be one of the next poll questions.
All right,
hyenas or jackals.
All right, you know what? You sold me. One more super chat, and then I'm going to close that poll, y'all. So keep in mind. Instead of ice, Dawi Forever. Great name, by the way. Instead of ice, you can theme it around sand and glass to represent that as well. Well, that's Thousand Sons for sure. Glass was one of their big things. Sand, not so much. There's actually Prospero, their homeworld, had a lot of sand, but not in the habitable area. The habitable area was the city of Tizca, which was actually quite verdant. It was right next to, it had a river that ran through the middle of the city, and it was right on the ocean. So they didn't have a lot of sand in Tizca, which is kind of interesting. But good point. Good point. Nevertheless,
themselves are full of sand.
Now they are. They're all is dust, baby. All is dust. Closing the poll. And the answer is Tzeentch, 65%. 2/3 of you guys are like, hell yeah, Tzeentch. So there we go. And I'm putting up the poll now.
Would that be under Warband beliefs? Yes, right?
Yep. Or Chaos Worship. Well, let's start with beliefs. That works just fine.
We'll just go with Tzeentch for now, and then I'll add more later. All right. Agreed.
What's this one? Spinosaurus. Friend of Trader says Spinosaurus. Obvious choice. The poll is up for whether they're hyenas or jackals. Please take a quick look at that if you would. But yeah, the Chaos Worship question is definitely Tzeentch. So that's where that's from. Then there's a follow-up though, which is like, what form do their beliefs take? Okay. And the follow-up is like, are they they may for the dark gods is the first one, which is where their warband reveres the chaos, the chosen god above all else. Hail Horus is the second one, where they still honor Horus. Probably unlikely for Space Wolf, frankly. Remember the ancestors is another one, which should remember and pay respects to those. They have a strong sense of tradition. Death to the false emperor, where they are very opposed to the Imperium and specifically the emperor. Suffer not the weak, which is kind of like survival.
I like suffer not the weak.
Okay. Let me write that down somewhere. I can't start a new poll while the old poll's running, but
that's
suffer not. Okay. Demonhood is godhood, which is their goal is to become demons.
I'm not feeling that one, but the Wendigo thing could be their demons.
Power demands sacrifice. They understand. Okay. Which is they're willing to sacrifice anything to advance themselves, which I think that's a really good one for Wendigos. And battle is glory. To fight on the battlefield is the greatest thing in life.
I think that leans towards Khorne more, but that does fall into the Space Wolves type deal.
Accept any and all. Thieves and whores, traitors and scum alike are welcome to join the Warband's forces.
Yeah, we have to do that one.
I think that's almost a given, isn't it, at this point?
Yes.
Just go ahead and write down accept any and all then. I'm not going to put that in a poll.
For Warband beliefs?
Yeah, that's part of their Warband beliefs. And then the last one, there's two more. There's one that says, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Which
some reason, I thought you were going to say, dude, where's my car?
Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, which means these Marines are no longer bound by any codes or laws. They'll do what they want whenever they want, which is a very Space Wolfy thing.
What was I adding for the beliefs? Except
any and all.
Okay.
And then the last one is called For the Emperor, which the Warband would seem to venerate or even worship the Emperor. They carry Aquilus. This is the Alpha Legion version. You know, It's like they pretend to be Imperials. I
love our chat.
It's funny. Okay, I'm going to close that poll because I think we have. Oh, it's tight. It's tight. 30 more seconds, guys. Then I'll close it. We do have some super chats. Let me grab one here. The first one that looks right to me is this one. Skylar Martin, 4298. Voting for Slaanesh, even though I know my flawless queen won't win. Respect. Even though it's not there, you're going to do it anyway. I appreciate you. And, honestly, I'm a little glad it's not Slaanesh, to be clear.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose monetization on this channel.
But I appreciate. I see where you are. I see you. I do. Sorry, my fault. Scutari Boy says Tzeentchian Space Wolf descendants must have a very odd relationship with the Thousand Sons.
Yeah,
probably.
Could you imagine just being like, "We worship Tzeentch, so do we." What?
Well, Thousand Sons. I mean, do the Thousand Sons worship Tzeentch as they currently are now?
I don't think so.
I mean, they're certainly influenced by Tzeentch. They have Zangors, they use the magic, all that stuff. They are aligned. I think it's fair to say they're aligned with Tzeentch, right?
Yeah.
Like that's certainly true. Anyway,
Magnus
yeah,
does know of the great games.
and he's a demon prince of Tzeentch, I think,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I guess you'd have to. I think you'd have to quantify it that way. It's like they're maybe not like ardent worshippers, but they certainly acknowledge the supremacy of Tzeentch. I think
They're
that's
not
fair.
like Slanesh worshippers where they venerate Slanesh.
Yeah, I don't think there's like statues of Tzeentch that they pray to or anything like that. But Gideon Gleeful 95 says suggested beliefs burning Prospero was wrong and they felt bad for doing it. My man. The burning of Prospero is such a huge tragedy. Oh, you have struck right at my heart. Please, for the love of God, Alexis, can we have this? Can we do this? I really want this.
Yeah, probably. Where are we putting this?
Under Warband beliefs, the burning of Prospero was wrong.
Okay, let me just copy and paste it real quick.
See, the thing about the burning of Prospero is that it was supposed to be peaceful. The whole idea was to go to Prospero, present the writ of censure that the emperor had made up, and then Layman Russ would basically escort Magnus back to Terra, where he would get a very stern talking to about screwing around with psychic powers in the war. But Horus got involved, and Horus kind of preyed on Layman Russ's issues about. Yeah, this is a separate line. They're perfect.
Yep.
Horus convinced Russ that killing the Thousand Sons and killing Magnus was far preferable than trying to arrest him. And I can certainly see some Space Wolves going, yeah, bro, this ain't right. Keep in mind, the burning of Prospero was the first large-scale Space Marine versus Space Marine conflict prior to the heresy. And it does take place, like it's just prior. It's before Isstvan 3. So that it's a big deal, and I'm grateful to include it. I think that'd be really, really cool. Super Orlok, if Hyena, then the warlord should be a woman of some kind, perhaps a demon princess or the thing that might start a fight. You know the thing. Female Custodes, I think is what he's talking about here.
No, I think he's talking about Demon Kalaba.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's not do that then.
I do like the idea of a female demon prince. We have some lore that suggests this with the Iron Warriors, where one of their demon princes is a woman that was just shoved into their power armor and transformed into a demon prince. That story never went anywhere, but that's a thing.
The poll says hyenas are the answer. So
okay, so where do we put hyenas?
Let's put that under common mutations deficiencies.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
All right, and now I'm going to put up the poll for the type of beliefs, the Warband's beliefs. Or sorry, yeah, where is it? Let me just double check, make sure I'm not. I feel like I may be going something wrong. Nope, it's still Warband beliefs. Okay, yeah, I'm right. Okay. Warband beliefs.
We got so many Warband beliefs already. 2 of them, in fact.
Well, that's a good thing, right? It shows that people are really interested in what we've got building here. And I like the creative effort. Like this,
yes.
Again, it's fascinating to see what happens in a collaborative environment.
I don't know why this line is so weird. I have a
stall for a little bit while I write these up.
Well, I have such a problem with like how Excel, Google Docs does their forms, and it bugs me because I know that that's a 1.5 space, but I don't know how to change it, and that's just bugging me. But that's neither here nor there. But I think I also have to add they transform into hyenas, similar to like the Thunderwolves. Or are we doing their Zangors or hyena creatures?
We're talking about their Canis Helix.
Yeah, so that would be their wolf and our hyenas.
Their wolf, and any expression in the Canis Helix would be hyena rather than wolf, is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then the last one is for the Emperor, right? Yeah.
Yes. I think a bigger transformation, like their 8-bound, would be Wendigos. I think we have to incorporate that a little bit into here and make them a little bit bigger. Something
I think
similar
you're
to
right.
like the Vogskier from AOS, which is hilarious because the Vogskier in Icelandic is just wolf cheese, and that'll always be funny to me. When me and Victor first saw that, Victor was just like, "What the hell?"
Have you made a chaos army, Alexis? And if you have, what's it like?
So I have chaos sort of armies. I just sold off my Emperor's Children because weirdly enough, I did not like them in 10th edition, and I don't play enough heresy to justify having a whole nother chaos army for that. But I do have an extensive collection of war machines for my world eaters. Like I have 3 to 4 different Hellbrutes. They're old chaos dreadnoughts. I have tons of chaos characters that are all world eater based, but I have no troops. I have tons of like possessed demon engines. I have 2 just chilling down here. I have a couple of rhinos and everything, and I really want this. I really wanted like a more mechanical world eater army, but then the codex kind of came out and was a little limited in what they could take. So I was like, I'll wait.
All right, so that poll is up for the beliefs. The next part we're going to talk about, though, is the demeanor, which is kind of their like the attitude that these guys take, their viewpoint on the world is the next part. This obviously can range over a lot, and I'm going to read them off, and maybe Alexis, you can help me narrow down to 4.
Whoop, I just saw something really quick that I have to add to this list because this is actually a really cool name, and I want to make sure we get it.
Zen Gnolls. Oh, Gnolls. Yeah. So in Dungeons and Dragons, Gnolls are hyena-headed humanoids. Yep. They're very common as enemies. But yeah, I'm going to go through these demeanors really quick. You help me like narrow down 4. Exploit and conquer. The warband views all others as pawns.
I really like that one. I think we immediately have to add that one.
As in, it's not part of the poll, or
no, it is in the poll.
Okay.
Immediate.
Scorched Earth, which is destroy anything they don't need, basically.
I don't like that for a Tzeentchian cult.
Take no prisoners. They slaughter all who stand before them.
Nah, they're taking everyone.
Okay. Embrace corruption.
Yes.
That sounds like I was already writing that one down because hell yeah. Of a lost age, which means they have a lot of pre-heresy tech. Stalk the prey, fight like hunters.
I like that.
Stalk the prey makes a lot of sense. All right, we got one more left. Tolerance of the Xeno. We already have that. I'm gonna skip over that because we know they accept any and all. Desecrate and defile.
Okay, maybe that one.
Honor amongst thieves. Despite being evil and cruel, they have a strong sense of brotherhood.
No, these guys don't.
Chaos Uber Alles. They believe their deities to be ultimate beings of the galaxy and are willing to serve them for eternity.
Meh.
You like Honor amongst thieves, then?
Yeah, kind of. I like the idea that they're cool with everyone.
All right, let's see. Are there super chats we need to read before I close that poll? Get your votes in because we're going to close it in a little bit.
We grabbed this one. There's only one.
Gideon Gleeful, man, you're in it today. I appreciate it. Also, slight thing: hyenas are more related to cats than dogs. Really?
Yes, they are.
Huh? You know, I remember a fact from my childhood that bears are very close to dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like genetically. 2, using Wendigos is iffy due to native beliefs. You may want to avoid it. Good
that
point.
Is very true.
Solid
that is
point.
Very true.
Solid
but I
point.
think we would actually use like the actual mythology of Wendigos, where they're like almost ghost people that eat people instead of deer-headed thing that Hollywood popularized.
Well, there's a lot of different versions of the Wendigo. Let's just say we're going to call it something like a Wendigo, but it will have a different spelling, and
I think we go with the Gnolls.
Okay, well, we're going to go with Gnolls instead of Wendigos. So there you go. All right. Or Wendigos at most, right? Like nah, forget it. Gnolls it is. It's just better. All right, closing that poll. Let's see what you guys decided. All right, the answer for our warband beliefs is power demands sacrifice. Almost half of you guys like that one. So power,
that's
just
a warband belief.
Correct. And what it says is the Marines of this force understand that in order to gain, you must first give something in return. They're willing to sacrifice anything to advance themselves, even their lives or the lives of others.
My brain just completely stopped working and my dyslexia just hit 100. How the hell do you spell sacrifice?
SACRIFICE.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
And I misspelled it. Don't mind me.
All right. So we know that they're worshiping Tzeentch. We're talking about demeanors, right? I'm going to throw those up in a poll. But do you want to talk about your force that you built, like what their outlook is on the Imperium while I build this poll?
So my Chaos Warband, that is mostly World Eaters, their whole outlook on the Imperium is that they all need to be slaughtered because they were so weak and they still haven't recovered or destroyed any major enemies. So thus they have to be discarded like a broken blade, killed on sight and killed down to the last. Only the strongest of them can survive. So that is their belief. They are annihilationists.
They're nihilists?
Annihilationists. They want to completely obliterate all chaos, all Xenos, and all Imperial. They think none of them deserve the realm anymore, but they themselves are the ones that should inherit it because they're the strongest.
Interesting. I like
Again,
that.
I made this warband to be as edgy as possible.
Edgelords. The warband known as the Edgelords.
Yes. I mean, their leader is Umbra Nox.
Have you heard of this term called Chunabu? Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Chunabu is a term. It's Japanese, and it's essentially, it roughly translates to 13-year-old syndrome.
Yeah.
And the idea, if you are chuny, is the term, it means you are kind of edgelordy in that adolescent, juvenile fashion, that you brooding on top of rooftops with long trench coats in the wind and coming up with names like Ravenblood, Black Wolf, Deathblade. That is Chunabu.
Oh, that's funny.
I have a Shadowrun character who is intentionally Chunabu, whose name is Ravenblood, Black Wolf, Deathblade. So
should be under chaos beliefs. Yeah.
Chaos beliefs. We know that they
power demand sacrifice is under chaos beliefs, right?
Right. Yep. Power demand sacrifice. That is correct. But
okay.
They're voting on that right now. So.
Oh. Whoops.
No, I'm sorry. No, you're right. That is correct. Power demand sacrifice was the one that they picked.
Yes.
That is
okay. We got it.
So they're voting on demeanor, and I'm going to close demeanor. We don't have any super chats to read. Double checking. Alexis.
The warband demure.
Alexis means accelerationists, according to Sam Hobbs. I mean, it's related. Certainly adjacent.
Yes.
Certainly adjacent. Getting Gleeful still talking about Wendigos. I think using them as inspiration is fine, but avoid using the name Wendigo because invoking the name is the main problem. Okay.
Yeah, we will. We'll stick with the Knolls.
I have no intention or desire to be disrespectful to Native Americans, so let's just not use the word. Fair enough. All right, here we go. Closing that poll, and the subject is...
What is their demure?
Stalk the prey. Stalk the prey is the demeanor.
That makes sense.
As a reminder what that is, the Marines in this force fight like hunters, waiting for just the right time to strike and kill their enemy. The way of combat gives them patience and cunning.
Ooh.
Yes, well, it's very Space Wolfy. It's also very hyena, so I like that.
Oh, I think it. This went back
up. You want to go to where it says heading 1 on the left.
I'm just going to do this and force it to work.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. So what's the next thing we're going to talk about today? Well, that is the common mutations or deficiencies of the chapter. This can be either physical or mental. So I think we need to kind of decide that first of all.
I think we're doing physical since we have them transforming into hyenas / gnolls. I think the Zangnals are going to be the bigger version of them, kind of like their Thunderwolves versus the Wolves. Because if you go by the dumb lore of Space Wolves, which pretty much no one accepts, because it's really, really stupid, technically no wolves on Fenris means that the people themselves turn into
We talked about
the,
this in my 13th
the
Company stream, actually, a
Thunder.
little bit. Yeah,
They turn into the Thunderwolves.
it's implied. It's heavily
It's
implied.
so dumb.
Hey,
But
welcome to Warhammer 40K. Have you met Doom Rider? Have you seen the Dark Eldar space hair? Have you heard of
yeah,
Obi-Wan's Sherlock Clouseau? There's a
but
lot of things that are a little weird and a little strange, and that's part of the fun of 40K is that it gets goofy from time to time.
the Zangnolls just have people on their backs giving them piggyback rides running into battle.
Oh, that's funny. I like that one. So on these mutations, I think there's one we got to just take. Like, I think there's one that I don't want to include in the poll because I think it's necessary, but I'm going to throw it out there. I want to see what you think. If you don't agree, we'll put it in the poll, and that's fine. But hunger for flesh is the very first option.
I want to say yes immediately, but I also want to get chat involved.
Okay, so we'll add it to the chat. That's fine.
Yeah.
Hunger for flesh.
I really want to add that one because I do want to just add it. I'm not gonna lie, but I want chat to be involved in this as much as possible.
Eyes of Night, that's more like a Night Lords kind of thing, but I mean, Space Wolves do have sharp senses, so Eyes of Night's a possibility. It's kind of boring. No rest for the wicked means that they no longer need to sleep, but hallucinate and go berserk when they're too tired. That's pretty cool. I see your face. Do you want that? That?
Yeah, we add that one.
Okay, I see your face.
If somebody throws a super chat and just says they hunger for flesh, it's 100% that.
You know,
I'm just gonna say it.
Let's say $5. For $5, we could just add it and we'll do a second one.
Yeah.
Freakish Skin is another one. Not a big fan of that one.
No,
Voice of Evil, though. Voice of Evil. The Marines' voices are sinister and painful to hear.
I like that one because it's like the jackals, the hyenas laughing.
That's how I would do it. That's how I would do it. Is the hyenas laughing. Body horror. No, that's probably not okay. Breath weapon. I think Eyes of Night will be the fourth. Then.
Yeah.
It's maybe a little boring, but it's still interesting, and it is still part of it. So, would you talk about your Chaos chapter and your Chaos army, I should say, and any weird mutations or deficiencies that they may have?
So one of the things that they do is ceremonial blood drinking, where they take a living victim and literally drop them onto grinding blades to juice them, essentially.
Ew!
And drink that.
Oh my god!
And if you don't do that, you cannot become a Chaos Space Marine. So you have to drink the blood of an entire enemy.
Wow.
I wanted it to be the opposite of Blood Angels, where Blood Angels have to be like, yes, I have to lay in this bath of blood, and if I accept it, I am a Blood Angel and I am beautiful. Where they're just like, drink this person.
Okay, we got a $10 super chat that says flesh and eyes both make sense to me. I think we just have to skip the poll at this point.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
All right. So the mutations are hunger for flesh and Eyes of Night.
Yep.
So these guys, they're omophagia, which is the implant that allows them to eat things and gain knowledge from it, is a little overactive. They're running around eating bodies, eating enemies. They crave raw, fresh human meat. So that's fun. And then Eyes of Night is their oculobe, which is the eye implant, gives them really good night sight, but it renders them photosensitive, so they don't like bright light. They got a little bit of Night Lords going on there. They're nocturnal, yeah. All right, cool. That's our mutations. So the next thing, our figure of legend. So the champion of legend, the figure of legend. this is going to be something like the Warband leader. It could be a demon prince. It could be a chaos lord. It could be a sorcerer lord. We have chapter master Zuvasan, right?
Well, this has to change. It has to be
Chaos Lord Zuvasan.
Yep.
There you go.
Obviously, he had to upgrade his title.
All right, but was he, you know, like so some of the options, and you know, tell me if you want to throw any of these out. Demon Prince, Sorcerer Lord, Possessed, Dreadnought.
I say we take those 4 and we make a poll out of it.
Okay, you don't want to go any further down the list.
I think those 4 are really good. You just named like the 4. What's after Possessed? Maybe not Possessed.
Dreadnought. So it's instead of that, I would just
after the Dreadnought.
After the Dreadnought is Chosen or Terminator, which I think would be a Chaos Lord. So I think Chaos Lord needs to be one, just like standard Chaos Lord needs to be one of the options.
Okay, yeah, we'll do Chaos Lord instead of Possessed.
All right, so Chaos Lord, Sorcerer Lord, Demon Prince, or Dreadnought are the 4 options.
Yes.
All right, cool. Who leads your warband and why?
So Umbra Nox is the character that leads my warband. She is a corrupted sister of battle that dragged herself back to life by consuming a Space Marines, the Progenoid, is it called? The thing in their neck.
Yeah, that's Progenoid. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes it so that they can accept all the organs and everything. And in doing so, she called out the name of Khorne while doing it, and Khorne resurrected her because she was dead at the time while doing this. Because Khorne, for some reason, resurrects a lot of his followers. It's kind of a weird
more blood. It gets him more blood.
Exactly.
That's why he likes it.
But when she did this, she consumed a Chaos Night Lord, not a Night Lord, a World Eater that she killed, and then took his weapon. And for some reason, this weapon did not slow her down. It was a Space Marine sized weapon, but she was so filled with hate and rage that she went through and killed everything in her path, and thus earning her the brand of Khorne. And then she went into she was eventually taken by the Warband itself, dropped into one of their fight pits, and demons were summoned to fight her. And she took the brass collar of Khorne off of a Hound of Khorne after killing it, and she wears that as a crown on her head.
That's awesome lore. Is that on the model?
Yes.
That's hot. I dig it.
It is currently stuck because it's broken because her horns came out, and because she looks more like a bloodletter at this point.
Do you have that? Yep. Do you have the model nearby, or
maybe. Let me check. Hang on.
All right. While she's away, I'm gonna read some super chats. Don't forget to vote in the poll, please. When I finish reading super chats, and when she brings back her model, we're gonna close that poll. So Dawi Forever says, in D&D lore, they actually do turn people into gnolls for their Lord Yinogu, which he is right about that. Could be a psyker thing. Interesting idea. I like that the gnolls may be a psychic or a warp sorcery kind of thing. That's really, really cool. New Boot Goof says they all sound like Gilbert Gottfried is one of their voice of their evil voice is they all sound like Gilbert Gottfried.
That's amazing. But yeah,
that's funny.
If I can steal the screen really quickly.
Yeah. Whoa, look at that.
That cool. Is Umbra Nox.
Nice. And that's I can see the crown. There it is.
Yep. And she has a dead space wolf.
Oh, even better. Rad. Very, very cool.
And then we'll go back to
I got this.
And then whoops. How do I it's this one and then this. There we go. I figured things out. I know how to press buttons.
Gideon Gleeful 95 says, dumb pun suggestion. They use a lot of razorbacks because aggressive transport, but also because porcupines have sharp backs due to quills.
Although Chaos Space Marines don't use razorbacks for some reason. They forgot how to use them.
Well, okay. I do see this, Gideon Gleeful. I am a pun enthusiast. All right. I love good puns. You're reaching a little bit on this one. I'm not going to lie. but I see you. I see where you were going with this because the quill sword. I get it.
Sure. But
she's right. They don't really use Razorbacks. So here we go with Sayez00 says, can see why they like and want the Kroot because it's an eat all you can buffet. I think he means all you can eat buffet. Yeah, Kroot would be Chaos Kroot. I think are going to be a part of this warband. I think that's just going to be a thing under allies. You want to write that down, Chaos Kroot?
Yep.
Okay. Sayez00 again. Corn is a child who doesn't like when his toys are broken, so he always repairs them so more blood can be shed, and he can rage again when the toy fails.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I want to again stress that the Chaos Gods are not like they don't think like people. They're really these vast cosmic storms that you can just sort of kind of interpret like what they think, but they're not out there just like doing this stuff. But it's a funny way to look at it, and that's why I like this is because it's a he's looking through one of those little facets in the crystal and saying like, okay, if I look at the corn this way, I see a child who doesn't like when his toys are broken, and that's an interesting perspective. I dig that. And then Ricky Chapman 3377 asks, what hair and head did you use for that model?
That is a Sister of Battle upper torso with Daughters of Cain bits, the Kitterai kit. And then to make the grappling hook, it is a cut down bolt pistol with a whip coming out of it with the stinger of a Tyrannid. And then the scythe is from the Death Guard Forge World upgrade kit before they got rid of it. And I used one of those. It's the one-handed scythe. Yeah, I went a little crazy on that.
So the answer is the head of our warband is a demon prince.
It's a demon prince.
Yeah, 61%. Now the next part is a deed of legend, something these guys did to be really, really cool. We can only do 4 here, so I'm going to say something like the first one's like a dark legend. He's a scourge of the Imperium who's ravaged many planets. Kingslayer is really cool. This is our chapter master killed some renowned and mighty Imperial hero. Hey, it could be Commissar Yarrick if we really want to get there.
It could also be a certain character from another chapter that we made here.
Oh, right. So it could be the Gorgon's Talons guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Kingslayer's got to be on the list. Lord of Anarchy, the hero corrupted nearly an entire sector, which could be fun. There's one called the Ascended, which achieving the impossible to become a demon prince, which he already knows demon prince.
He did it again.
Exterminator, the hero led a campaign of extermination against a loyalist Astartes chapter. I like that one. Hey, guess what? We have a loyalist chapter we can talk about, which is the Gorgon's Talons. So we're definitely setting up a rivalry. Fallen Champion, the figure of legend, led his warband through many campaigns and slaughtered countless foes. However, he was eventually slain by a rival, and then maybe was reborn. So that's a good one.
I like that one as well.
So I've got our poll up for our deed of legend, and we will see what you guys think of that. What is what would you say is the deed of legend for your Umbra Nox? What's the thing she's most known for?
So I kind of just use her as a recurring villain in my Dark Heresy campaigns.
Perfect.
She has killed 3 characters who had 10,000 XP.
Yikes.
So she might be a little bit strong. But that group was particularly good at making terrible decisions.
At my table, we have this thing we call player bullshit. Player bullshit is any kind of plan or scheme by the players in the role-playing game that shouldn't work, but somehow does.
Yeah.
And sometimes player bullshit comes up against something that it just can't beat.
Logic. Dang it, we can't figure this out. A
right,
puzzle meant for 2-year-olds. We'll never be able to figure this one out.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Sometimes the weirdest thing will stymie a role-playing game group.
I think her most notable feat is that she has survived because of fortune points more than almost any other character. Because I had for absolute like dumb stuff, like
Oh no.
having her teleport aboard an enemy vessel when her flagship was destroyed, and then just hiding there until she could teleport back onto a planet and then do stuff to make another warband.
All right, guys, we're going to read a couple super chats, and then the poll will be closed. So make sure you get your votes in. Gideon Gleeful, sir, you are like funding this episode, and I appreciate you. He says, okay, so no Dreadnought leader, but what if a Dreadnought second in command is a dark reflection of Bjorn, who is roughly the same age? Ooh, that's a good one. I think.
Hey, babe. We know a few people named Bjorn. What would you say is the opposite name of Bjorn?
We're getting
Bjorn
an actual
Icelandic name.
We're getting an actual Icelandic anti-Bjorn name,
right? Yeah. Hercup? Yeah, Hercup could work. And we could call it the Risen Foot.
All right, yeah. Put it in there. We've got a Dreadnought second in command.
Babe, send that name to me.
And then getting Gleeful again says, you can also tell this Hyenas chapter is evil since they almost bankrupted Creative Assembly. Hyenas was, for anybody who doesn't know, Hyenas was a game that Creative Assembly was making that did not do well, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on it, but if I recall, this was something that flopped. It was a game that flopped. That's what he's referencing there. And Super Orlok says, Demon Princess, Hyena Matriarch, who adopted these wandering males into her benevolent stewardship.
Yeah, I did switch it to Demon Princess. Let me steal this really quickly so I can get the... okay, I got the Dread. It's technically a Hell Brute.
Hawk says that Hyenas didn't even come out. It was only announced. So, yeah, I think you're right about that. All right, closing the poll, everybody. And the answer is Kingslayer is the Deed of Legend.
So that is under...
It's under Deed of Legend.
There it is.
Yep. And Kingslayer says a figure of legend, some renowned and mighty Imperial hero, like a chapter master, well-known inquisitor, or famous Imperial Guard general, was killed by our demon princess. I think we're going to have to say the chapter master of the Gorgon's Talons, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So at one point in time, the chapter master of the Gorgon's Talons fought our demon princess and lost. This maybe not happened right away. Maybe it could have been the first chapter master of the Gorgon's Talons, and now they have a replacement.
Yeah, I like the first. I like the first one.
There you go. All right, now we're going to talk about the home world. We did this as well with our Space Marine chapter. And basically, let's see. Again, I think we need to pick the most interesting 4 options, not the most common.
I forgot how strong the magnets were that I put on this, so when I put it down on the metal, it shot poor Umbra off the Rhino.
So this is our chapter's current homeworld, not their previous homeworld. But I'm going to throw in a couple of options right off the bat, which is a demon world and a space Hulk, because that's really rad. And let's put a
fleet base has to be one of them according to chat.
Okay, fleet based it is the last option. So there you guys go. Poll is up. Now, where is your chapter based out of? Is it a fleet based? Is it?
They are a fleet based chapter.
Okay.
They are on the ship known as the One That Knocks.
Breaking Bad. I get it.
Yep. Her ship is not that big. It is only a destroyer class, and she leads a very small warband. She only leads about 100. Not 100. She leads about 88 Marines and then 888 cultists, mutants. Get it? She's Corn.
Yeah, I get it. 8 is a very sacred number to Corn. Micah points out we need a name and a symbol.
Yes, we do. And
So
it would be cool if somebody, just randomly popped into our Discord and made something incredible again.
well, I mean, that did happen before. I'll tell you what. Next, do we want to? How do we want to do this with the names and the symbols?
Well, I think the name has to come from somebody who is a fan of the chat, or chat itself needs to come up with a name for it. It's really up to them at the end of the day.
All right.
But since it's Zinchian, we could do something like kind of crazy. We could do like one of those crazy names, where it's like a lot of apostrophes and everything.
Oh,
really
no. No, let's not. Let's not.
You don't want a crazy name?
No, I want a name that is cool. that you can actually speak out loud. Because again, it'd be fun if somebody wanted to make this as a tabletop army and feel
the matriarchs of murder.
I mean, that's not terrible, right? But I'm thinking maybe something more along the lines of Eaters of the Dead, or Anubis's Folly, or something along those lines would be kind of fun.
Carrion Plan.
Night Wolves or Night Howlers, maybe.
That could be a good one.
And Micah says Azure Hyenas or Ever Changing is 2 ideas.
I like the Azure Hyenas. That's a good one.
Azure Hyenas, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Hawk points out that your ship name actually should be One That Noxes.
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of what it was supposed to be. It's one with the darkness. And it follows warp storms. So it's an ambush ship.
All right, I'm going to close that poll for the homeworld. Let's see what we come up with here. Avengers of Prospero. Hey, Micah. Coming in hot.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
That's a good one. I like it. So the answer, according to chat, is they are based on a Space Hulk.
Oh, Space Hulk. Ooh.
Yeah. So Warband Homeworld, just forget about terrain. We can just get rid of terrain. They are now on a Space Hulk. Space Hulk.
What kind of Space Hulk?
Oh, well, I mean, build your own Space Hulk is a whole different episode.
Hear me out. I think it has to be partially War Sphere.
That's why the crude are there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down. Let's make that a partial War Sphere Space Hulk. Yeah, I'm down. I think that sounds great. Gideon Gleeful super chatted in Cackling Death. I think we're going to have to go with that.
Oh, that's a good one. Cackling
Death is the name. Now we need to talk about the symbol. Like fangs, like an open mouth would be, not like World Eaters, but just the fangs, like on a black field, you just got these white teeth, maybe. Or I'm not sure how you show a laugh in an icon.
That would be kind of difficult.
It'd be kind of wild. But Cackling Death is now the name of the warband. Okay,
where do we have the name?
Just make a new line, I think.
Okay, I'll just throw it up here at the top. Fair enough. My gods.
Maybe go down one and then do it. There you go.
There we go.
Oh, Micah says a good symbol would be a hyena skull.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Hyena skull's pretty rad. I dig that one. Wendigo 8004 says hyena head side profile. That's going to be hard to distinguish from a wolf, unfortunately. But good idea.
Do you want to know something really funny about the wolf skull that GW uses?
It's not a wolf?
It is not a wolf. None of them are. They are all raccoons. It is like every time you see a wolf skull tattoo, there is a very, very, very high chance that it's just a raccoon. And it makes me so happy because they always get the skull shape wrong and they always do a raccoon.
Dowie Forever gives a super chat saying a smiling hyena skull, which is rad.
How would you make it smiling?
Okay, this is silly. I want to point out this is silly, but the first thing that came to mind is the Straw Hats smiling skull that they use in One Piece? Not
I
familiar.
have never seen One
Okay.
Piece.
It can be done. You just gotta like make it a little cartoony, and it can have a smile. Inside you are two wolves, Professor Shap says, but both are raccoons. That's great. I dig that. Oh my god! So the Space Hulk is merged with a War Sphere. One of the major features of the Space Hulk is the War Sphere. So that's why they have the Kroot as part of their group.
Yeah.
This is all coming together strong. It's coming together real strong. I dig it. All right. Next thing is going to be the combat doctrine of our
wait,
chapter.
I think I forgot to put something. Hyena skull.
Smiling hyena skull.
Where are you? Do we not have a spot for that?
No, you'll have to put it under the name.
Okay. Doop. And then we'll just go with boop. Ah, god dang it. I keep not hitting shift when I do that. Oh. So it is Warband Warband symbol is going to be a God, I cannot spell today.
All right. Well, I put up a poll for the combat doctrine. I included 4 options: rip and tear, which is glorious close combat.
Yeah,
very very common for Space Wolves. I also included demons everywhere, where they do a lot of summoning of demons. There's also I put in terror tactics, which is kind of a Night Lord's thing. Obviously you scare them to death. And then the last option that I put in was unorthodox warfare, which is guerrilla tactics, sabotage, targeting assassination, key targets, information warfare, infiltration, stuff like that.
I don't think these guys are information, as weird as it is.
Well, Tzeentch though is very much into this kind of approach.
Yeah.
So I think it fits. Those are the 4 options. What is the combat doctrine of your Chaos Warband, and what are they called?
So, they're just called the Slaughterbound before the Slaughterbound became an actual thing by GW.
Whoops.
So that's an oopsie daisy. This was back. I made this warband back in like 6th edition. Demonkin didn't come out yet because so I haven't changed their names just yet. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like they're just the Slaughterbound.
Okay.
Their combat doctrine is just rapid assault, just same as World Eaters. Get in there, kill as quickly as possible. Get to melee. Melee is the most important thing, but they're also a little bit more sadistic than the World Eaters, where the World Eaters will just kill you. My warband will capture you to use you for rituals later. They're more into the ritualistic demonkin side of World Eaters or Corn worship, where they don't use psychers, but they force psychers to summon demons for them and then slaughter them. Because they have to start, the blood rituals and everything, so more demons can appear.
What in 10th edition you can have demons and Chaos Space Marines in the same force, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So it's at times they've been completely separate, so it's just one of those things.
It is currently 1 detachment per Chaos God. So Nurgle has one with
Sure.
Death Guard, and so on and so forth.
Hawk oddly has an interesting idea here. By the way, Hawk is a big help behind the scenes as one of our mods. Hawk oddly says power flails should be a major weapon for this warband. Flails are the usual weapons of gnolls and D&D, and they're sacred weapons of Yeenoghu, and that is also true.
I do really like that.
Fun fact, they even have a specialist unit of gnolls called Flinds, which are their like weapon master of the flail, or nunchucks, or flail-like weapons. So power flails, I think, is going to be one of their special equipment, because that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And why not?
Flail is awesome.
Why not? You can have.
It's very underused too. I think only one. No, Sisters of Battle don't have a flail that hangs. The only ones that do are Dark Angels.
Right. They have sensors as well. Yeah. I'm going to close that poll and see where we're at. We landed on, looks like unorthodox warfare is our combat doctrine.
Okay. Let me just make sure, get that real quick and turn off notifications really quickly. Combat doctrine is, can I just copy and paste this? That'd be super easy. Oh my God, I love it. Yay, copy and paste. Doop, bop.
All right,
unorthodox warfare.
The next thing is going to be special equipment. This could be a preferred fighting style, could be some kind of blessed icon, demon weapons, bestial companions. I think we got to add that one for sure.
Yes.
Bestial companions. And then we've got unholy war gear, ancient weaponry, stolen technology.
Oh, I like that one too.
Which one?
Stolen technology.
Okay. All right. And we've got special mounts, unique demon engines, special armor, and biological experiments.
Oh my God, how do we add all of that?
Right. I think special mount has got to be in there, right?
Yeah, because they're space wolves after all.
So, and then demon engines, armor, or experiments. Or icons. I like icon. I like blessed icons. I kind of like that too.
Okay. Okay. Because I can see all of this working.
I think we could strike out biological experiments. Let's.
Yeah, that's very much Emperor's Children thing.
And let's strike out special armor.
Yeah, we could strike that one out too.
So it's demon engines, blessed icons, or fighting style, or unholy war gear.
I think we get rid of the fighting style. We already have that essentially.
You're right. Blessed icons, I think, has got to be the fourth one.
Yeah, I think it has to be.
All right, there you go. What is our chapters? Or sorry,
oh wait, it was paratactics and not unorthodox warfare.
I saw the combat doctrine was paratactics according to Hawk. Okay, well, if Hawk says it is, then I must have misread it.
Yeah, it is. It's 32%.
Okay, well, put it in there. I apologize. I must have misread it.
Yep. Sorry about that. We're professionals.
Yeah, clearly. This is why I appreciate you, Hawk Godley. You're keeping us on track today.
He's right there, just like, I got this.
He also says there's no wolves on Fenris because they're all raccoons.
For some reason, the way you read that reminded me of Raccoon from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
Don't worry, some nerd is going to agree with me.
Is it over 9,000?
Probably.
Micah says hyena mutants are terrifying. They can be.
Yes.
Our name is the Cackling Death. Is that right? Cackling
yes.
Death. Yeah. So the battle cry is going to be unnerving because it's going to be all these, laughing wolf sounds, laughing animal sounds.
Oh, the worst part is it's going to start in the enemy's mind.
Oh, nasty.
Because it's like very Zinchian.
Yeah. Dreams, probably.
Yeah.
Dreams.
Oh, they're going to have like a Terror in the Warp type thing.
Maybe, possibly. Is there a special piece of gear or something like that for your warband?
Yes, the chain scythes and grapple guns.
Nice. And the grapple guns are just like the ones off the Reavers, right? They're
man catchers. They're meant to impale and cause as much damage to the person as possible, but not cut them in half or anything, but capture them. So the weapon is designed, instead of going like this inside you, it goes up like this so it catches your ribs.
I am now officially very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I put a lot of thought into how they murder, because the whole thing is they cause as much bloodshed as possible. So chain weapons are everywhere, and they like to capture people and then slowly walk towards them or drag them towards them to just carve them into pieces.
Hey, chat. Alexis is scary, yo. Alexis is scary.
You can't spell slaughter without laughter.
Oh my God. All right, let's close the poll, see what chat has decided today.
I told you, it's the edgiest thing I could think of.
Okay, so the answer is bestial companions. Half of
Oh
you
yeah,
wanted bestial companions. I think those have well, chimerae make a lot of sense, but it could be crude hounds that are corrupted.
it could be Zinchian possessed Narlox.
It could be that. It could be thunder wolves that are now hyenas.
Yep.
What are you thinking?
I think we put that up to a poll and let chat decide. I
Okay.
like the whole possessed Narlox. I think that
All right.
has to be one of them.
All right. Who are our warbands bestial companions?
And it can be
And
multiple. If you guys want them to have different types of mounts, comment it. Tell
these are
us.
not mounts. These are not mounts. These are companions.
Companions. You could write a companion. Don't take that out of context. God damn it. I'm terrible. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what were our options again? Narlox, I think. Possessed Narlox.
Possessed Narlox. Crude Hounds.
Mm-hmm. I got that. I got the hyena thunderwolves.
Familiars.
Like demon familiars?
Yeah, demonic familiars.
Okay.
That's
it. That's the 4.
Okay, then there we go.
All right. The poll is up for what are demon moose. They're Canadian. They're Canadian space wolves. What's this all about? I'm so sorry. We got to destroy you now.
That explains all the war crimes.
Love Canadians, to be clear. All right. Gideon, Gleeful. Wow, you are self-funding this episode, and I'm here for it. That special weapon is like an ogre from fantasy called Bragg the Gutsman. Also, I'm making a mock-up of the logo. Do we have an idea of the color scheme? We don't. Bragg the Gutsman. The special weapon is like an. Oh, I think there's a. So what he's saying is, I think there's a flail that Bragg the Gutsman uses in Warhammer Fantasy. Is what I think he's saying.
Okay. All right, I can see it.
Yeah, colors. The color. What we do need a color scheme of some kind. Tzeentch is often blue.
It's blues, right? Purples, gold,
pink,
bright red.
Not very often pink, but sometimes pink.
Yeah. But it's like that spectral color. Think like Aurora Borealis. Northern Lights.
So Space Wolves start off with this nice little robin's egg baby blue armor. Maybe we could riff on that a little bit and have like
a purple armor,
more purple blue or royal blue, maybe like a royal blue or like a royal blue, and we need an accent color like white. White and blue goes together really well, although that Ultramarines use that a lot. Gold and blue, again, Ultramarines, but blue and
I'm not sure if I agree on the blue because that's 2,000 suns.
Okay, I'm just saying it seemed like a logical place to start, but if you prefer them to be black or gray, because they're actually during the Battle of Prospero they had gray armor.
That is true.
So Storm Gray plus gray goes with a lot of things. Gray goes with black. Gray goes with brown. Gray goes with red. Gray and brown, I'm kind of feeling a little bit, but
what about
orangey tan?
Oh,
well, you're the painter. You're the painter.
Hyenas are brown.
Yeah,
that is very true. And we don't have an actual like brown color schemed chapter.
That's
the main colors.
Tan and gray would be kind of neat.
Tan and gray, I do like. Could do like a bone color instead of the tan.
Rush 2129 says dark blue and orange red. Micah says, how about Aurora green and gold? Micah says light fluorescent green and gold. And Sarmelian Bloodweaver 4789, great name. Purple, gold, and black.
Okay, so we have a color that's in all of those. So we have gold as one of the colors.
Okay.
All right.
Storm gray with burnt edges, Hawk suggests.
I like that. I like that a lot. But for some reason, I'm still stuck on that tan. The tan to a dark brown to a purple could be really cool. Like,
you guys, I think you should trust Alexis on this one. She knows her colors really well. I feel like we should. I think we need to trust you on this one.
I just like that tan color scheme because it's so unused for
if
Space
there's
Marines.
unless you guys want to super chat in a color, I think we should go with Alexis's because she's a very talented painter. Let's go with that one.
I'm feeling the last one. Let's see. The last one is feel a little blue accent is very least pretty much necessary for. Yeah, I think I agree with Skitari Boy on this.
I feel like little blue accents at least is pretty much necessary considering there's Zinchians, is what he says. Yeah, blue accents would be fun. By the way, go ahead.
It's the weird thing about like because they're space wolves. Space wolves don't have too much color that they use. Post heresy, it's the baby blue. Pre heresy, it's gray. So like we could start at the gray and go to a brown to a with some blue highlights on the shoulders or something similar to that. But I mostly want to put this on chat and see what they think.
Okay, I'll leave it up to you on that front. But we do have an answer on the bestial companion. It is a hyena thunderwolf.
A hyena thunderwolf. Oh, I love companion. That.
And that goes under special equipment.
Yep. Bestial companions.
Hyena thunderwolf. Yep.
There we go.
All right. The next.
I like that.
So we now have our status. Which there's 5 options here. We're gonna have to get rid of one of them.
This one's good though.
Oh, what
Super Orlock says, I just realized that we made 2 rival chapters who are making animal noises at each other. Rattlings and crew curse at each other.
Oh shit, that's funny. Oh damn, Super Orlock, he just killed me on that one.
We like animals.
Oh yeah, you're right. We're gonna have bird noises and bird noises. We're gonna have hyena noises and rattling noises.
It's literally the battle of Kaka Kaka Tuki Tuki.
Oh, I just hear the Hakuna Matata song in my head right now. Oh my god, that is hilarious. Wow, you're killing me. You're killing me, bro. That's so funny as hell.
Oh my gods.
Woo! All right, so what is we're now looking at the Warband's current status.
Yes.
There's 5 options, but I think we can easily reduce that to 4. They are endangered, which is, dwindling.
I'm a little iffy about that one. I like them being strong. I think this is a strike. I think this is a melee focused army.
But it can be interesting because there's like follow-ons, like why are they endangered?
That is
true.
Or
why are they strong? So I think having both of them is in there, right? Like I think that would be good.
Yeah, let's put both of them in there. Yeah.
So the bottom one is endangered, the top one is massive. Typical has got to be one of the options.
Typical.
Whatever.
A Space Marine looks up. Typical Chaos Space Marine. The Chaos Space Marine that's covered in like the blood of his enemies and rainbows. What?
So the 4 options are endangered, massive, typical strength, or slightly under / slightly over.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Those are the 4 options. God, it's animal noises. Birds on both sides. Rah, rah, caw. Good Lord, the Gargan's talons. Oh, geez, this is so fun. I got to admit, these build a thing shows are starting to really become like one of my top favorites.
I think we have to do one of these a month. Like,
right? I think we might.
These are hands down my favorite streams because we just sit here and we make animal themed armies.
Micah points out that there's probably a lot of sorcerers in this warband. I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right. That makes a lot of sense. Grim Isaac says craft world. We should build a craft world. We should build High Fleet is what we should build. We should build a craft world.
We should build a Gene Stealer cult.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. I would. Yeah, there's just so many options. So Gideon Gleeful says, so currently the logo had 2 or 3 colors overall: skull outline, skull itself, and background. The skull itself is probably white. Like, I mean, it's a skull, right? So
Yeah, it has to be like bone white.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but you know, it should be.
Yeah.
Skull outline, and then the background probably.
Okay, hear me out on this. The background is gray. The outline is purple that hazes into the gray.
I like that a lot. That sounds pretty rad.
Oh, build a Necron Dynasty. We have all of these. We're going to be building all of them, except maybe a Votan Kindred, because there's not enough lore for them yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we do that one exactly.
But by the time we get to that, there might be more lore we could dive into.
So good news, we are slightly over strength.
Ooh, slightly over strength.
On the warband status.
Oh, heck yeah. Let me just copy and paste that in just a moment once my computer decides to work.
All right. So why are they slightly over strength is the next answer that I want to. What next question I would like to answer?
So
and
they
some
are.
Of the options are dark patronage, which that makes. I think we got to add that one.
Yes. So we're saying slightly over, right?
That's what we're saying.
Okay. Oh, god dang it. No, wait, that's fine. Is that fine? Yes, that's fine.
It seems fine to me.
Okay.
One of my favorites is called Welcome to the Long War, which is where they incorporated a Space Marine chapter that recently turned traitor into their ranks.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like the many auxiliaries. We have to add that one.
Yeah, let's just that is not part of the poll. It's just they have many auxiliaries.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and throw that in there. But the options that are up are dark patronage and welcome to Long War and reputable warriors, which means their reputation draws people in, kind of like the Corsairs.
I don't think that one fits. No, it kind of does.
It could.
Yeah,
there's no reason why it couldn't.
That's the thing. Like all of these things can fit when you have Tzeentch as your spokesperson.
I mean, there is very little is impossible with Tzeentch.
Exactly.
Very little is impossible with Tzeentch. All right, I'm going to close that poll here very shortly. So one last question to you, Alexis. Does your Chaos Warband, are they on the rise, on the fall? Where are they?
They are currently on the fall. Their warband was recently wiped out down to Umbra, and she is struggling to get recruits. In the campaign, they did wind up destroying her ship, and I was just like, the Rogue Trader rules for Battlefleet Gothic battles is very broken, and bombers were way too powerful, and the ship got obliterated, so I had to burn a fate point for her to survive.
Wait, you burned a fate point in Battlefleet Gothic?
I burned a fate point, the Battlefleet Gothic version in in the Rogue Trader system.
Okay. Yeah. Now I follow you. Okay.
So she teleported, and her other characters that had fate points either deep striked or teleported or walked into the warp because they got saved, but her warband was annihilated. And this caused discontent between her own legion. And they started fighting each other once they found each other. And they're each trying to, again, take control of each other's warbands. But because they keep attacking each other, they keep destroying each other's warbands. So there's not many of them left.
Super Orlok says Hyena's social structure incentivizes adoption.
That is true.
I like it. I like it a lot. And Need Extra Sleep says, Pastor Ross, anything's possible with Tzeentch. Yes, you can. That's fair, and you can't quote me on that. That's fair. All right, let's close that poll. And the answer is welcome to the Long War, looks like. Double checking. Yes, welcome to the Long War. Dark Patronage almost got it. It was really close. But welcome to the Long War is the part of the warband status. They have absorbed a chapter renegades from another loyalist chapter, which Skitari Boy points out could be corrupted members of the Gorgon's Talents.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
Oh man, stupid Icelandic keyboard.
So I think there is a section for allies. I believe we've got that covered, but I wanted to add a special poll just for you guys. I actually came up with this before the show of a special ally, not just like a group, because we already know that they're in tight with the crew and they have a crew's auxiliaries. They have crews that help them out. So this is a kind of special ally. And I'm sure you're asking, well, what are the options? Alexis, ask me, what are the options?
What are the options?
I'm glad you asked. A mutant, like a beast man. A cult, could be an entire cult. A rogue psyker, or a renegade Astra Militarum unit.
Oh, I really like the... you could add knights, though.
Well, okay, if I could. Do we like that better than those other options?
Wait, can you go over them again?
Mutant,
I like mutants. I think just having mutants implies rogue psychers.
It doesn't, but okay. So Imperial Chaos Knights, I'll add that instead.
Yeah, I like the addition of Chaos Knights.
All right. A cult and a renegade Astra Militarum unit are the other two.
I like the renegade Astra Militarum unit. I think we have to go mutants and psychers for the other two.
You told me not to do a psyker. You wanted a Chaos Knights.
Well, you said the psychers don't count as mutants.
They're not.
Thus, we add them.
All right, so Rogue Psyker it is. We already have a lot of sorcerers in the band, which is the thing. I'll put a note on here. It's either Rogue Psyker or Chaos Knights. So if you really like Chaos Knights, vote for that option. Here we go. That poll is now up. We are getting close to the end of this. I think we're going to make it all the way through, which is pretty cool. Hellbrute, the Risen Foot. What's his name?
Hang on. I didn't grab his name.
The name of Hawk says, what's the name of the warband? It is the Cackling Death.
Which I might have spelled crackling instead.
Hawker, the Risen Foot, is the second in command. He's a Hellbrute. So
it's because he's the complete opposite of Bjorn the Fell-Handed.
Wendigo 8004 says, what if Tzeentch really wants the Talons and the Chaos Warband so that they can drive them both to Tzeentch?
Ooh, I do like that.
I mean, he's a schemer, and I mean, certainly, no matter how it goes, he's going to say exactly his plan. So, I mean, sure, maybe that is his intention. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's close that poll. Well, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit extra time, 30 seconds. Hakur the Risen Foot is our Hellbrute. I kind of want to know more about that guy, but we know he's an Elder Dreadnought. We know that he's been around a while. That's something. I also really dig the whole, this comes from the Burning of Prospero. Like that, this is kind of rad. It starts out very hopeful and good. Like we can't possibly killing our own brothers over something as silly as sorcery. Why would we do that? That's crazy. And then you fast forward 10,000 years, they're like, demons! Oh, the demons! All right, here we go. That poll's now closed.
We need more demons.
All right. This one was, we have a tie.
Oh, we have a tie?
We have a tie between Renegade Astra Militarum and Rogue Psyker or Chaos Knights. I think it's got to be Chaos Knights, right? Tiebreaker?
Ooh. So it has to be a Renegade Astra Militarum unit.
Oh, so it's not the Chaos Knights.
No, we just picked both.
All right, well, they are slightly over strength. Let's say they have a Chaos Knight. Let's say that. They have a Chaos Knight and a Renegade Astra Militarum unit. What would be a good Renegade Astra Militarum unit? It could be artillery. It could be infantry. It could be Ogrins. It could be Sentinels, like a Sentinel squad.
Could be. I like them having demolition experts.
Okay, there you go. So they have a Renegade Astra Militarum demolition squad that's attached to them.
I'm gonna try to get their official name, which I think is just Grenadiers. Like it's like hang on, I could just grab it. Doop. And done. And then we do this, and then I just go to other detachments, and I go with, where are they? Aren't they just called Grenadiers? No, they're called Combat Engineers.
There you go. Even better.
Oh, whoops, too many R's. And then we got a Knight Rampager. Right. Or it is called a Rampager, right? Yeah, Rampager.
So we already know that their enemies are the Gorgon's Talons. So I'm going to pull out Space Marines as a possible enemy. I'm also going to pull out Tyranids because they're kind of boring.
Yeah, Tyranids are boring.
I'm also going to pull out Orcs. Let's say 4 options. Let's say Eldari, because there's multiple flavors.
Yeah.
Sisters of Battle, because they're one of your favorites and one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The Tau.
Oh, them having a beef with a Tau would be cool, because they are like the Chaos Tau.
Because the Kroot. And then a minor Xenos race, because we know our guys love minor Xenos races.
Yes, they do.
Chat loves minor Xenos. So there you go. Those are your 4 options. So their enemies are the Gorgon's Talons, but also they fight whom? And for Umbra Nox and her followers, who do they fight most of the time?
They actually fight the Sons of Garrow a lot. But the Sons of Garrow don't consider them their main enemy.
You're just one of many. You're not special.
It is a one-sided beef that they have.
Ouch. That's got to. I'm sure there's probably some pretty epic burns from the Sons of Garrow. You think you're special? You're just another enemy.
I remember who you are. I have no idea who you are.
Right? I've been dreaming of this day. I don't even know who you are, man.
I don't mean to be rude, but I forgot your name. Space Whales.
Space Whales, friend of traders to Space Whales. Fishman, of course, from BioFlit. Yep. I think that's your thing, isn't it? It's Fishman. Death Guard Rivals, friend or trader says, oh, I kind of like that. But Tau also makes sense as well.
The Death Guard are actually the rivals to my chapter, the Sons of Garrow, because of the former,
Because of Nathaniel Garrow.
Yep. Yeah.
By the way, Nathaniel Garrow, fun fact, one of the very few Space Marine characters who has a real world name.
I don't know. I know plenty of Bjorns.
Well, I said few. I didn't say only. Just few.
Basically, all of the Space Wolf names, I know people named those things. It's hilarious.
All right, 30 seconds on the poll, guys. Get your votes in. I think Tau's got to be. I think we're just gonna have to make an executive decision and say Tau for sure is an enemy, right?
Yeah, because
it just makes sense. It just
Tau are not used enough too.
Agreed. And Tau are the top of the poll, by the way, as well. So that doesn't hurt.
Now, chat, is it the Farside Enclaves or is it the Tau? I say the Tau being the other branches of the Tau or Farside Enclaves. Because I could definitely see it being the enemy of the regular Tau because of how systematic they are and how they oppress their allies. Where these guys are just like, allies, we'll take advantage of that.
Main Tau says Sam Hobbs 9116. He says Farsight is based.
Farsight is based. Like,
well, every time I've seen him is based.
Huh.
Now that's a pun right there. That's my punish. That's how I pun people.
It's your punishment. You're about to say that.
I was about to say it. I was just right there. Excuse me, Freighter Trader says, I named my son Rubite Titus Calcar. I dig it. That is rad.
His nickname is Kato.
Well, believe it or not, that is the end of the Build a Space Marine chart. So we've got a name. Do we have a symbol? We have a symbol. We have their allies. I think this is the part where we weave this all together into a whole. Okay.
Yep. Yes, it is.
So
I have my first idea, okay?
listening.
Is all right. So the burning of Prospero is happening. Their
Yep.
ship is in the is above the, it they Prospero has a space spire, okay? They probably have quite a few.
No, they
If
don't.
not, they're teleporting. But their ship is in orbit,
Okay.
regardless, or near a shipyard or whatever is near the planet. Okay, they come down, they attack the planet. They don't like the Sisters of Silence, so they tend to stay away from them. This particular branch of the Space Wolves. Okay, something about the Sisters of Silence is not doing it for them. Okay, they're fighting and everything. They don't like what's really happening. They hate that this is actually happening. They hear the order to murder Magnus. They disagree with it, but they're on the planet fighting. Okay, the battle is intensifying. They're trying to just incapacitate the Thousand Sons. They're not trying to kill them, but their brethren are just slaughtering them wholesale.
And it's important to point out the Thousand Sons are definitely fighting to kill.
Yes, of course. But they're still like, this is still messed up. They don't want to kill. They're killing, but they don't want to. So they decide to betray the order and teleport back up to their spaceship. It's at this point they're starting to hear like a little bit of voices telling them that this is a good idea, get away from the main focus of everything and stop this battle if you can. So they're trying to communicate with the Space Wolves themselves, and they're messing up the coordination of the Space Wolves. This allows Magnus to get out and, do his Magnus things, fuck up everything. After the battle itself, the Space Wolves try to reprimand them, and on the way back, they side with Horus. They decide to split off, side with Horus. The whole burning of Prospero really messed with them. And then we fast forward a couple thousand years. They discover the Quill Blade. It is a relic of a chapter master that has been slain. They pick it up, but something about this weapon talks to them, and they start falling more and more into chaos as things go on.
And this is wait, this guy is Zervasin?
Yes.
Zuvasin is the guy who picks up the blade?
Yes. I think he's the one that actually gets them fully into chaos, where the chapter was deemed renegade at the time. And it wasn't like chaos. It was just like the lost and the damned. He's the one that damned the whole chapter to chaos.
So I'm going to throw a couple things at you. So first of all, at the height of the Battle of Prospero, there's kind of a localized warp storm, and they call it the Impossible Battle. All kinds of weird stuff happens. That might also be a time to pick up the Quill Blade is during the Impossible Battle, but
yes,
this climactic moment is also a great time for a bunch of Space Wolves to decide that they're done fighting, that this has gone too far, right? And they could escape through a portal like the 13th Company did. They could teleport back to their ship. Maybe no one knows. Maybe those records are gone. Maybe they just woke up and they were back on their ship. Maybe they're not sure how they did it. Because all those things are true. All those things could be true. But also the scouring. So getting if they leave Prospero in a kind of unconventional manner, like if their ship gets lost in a warp storm or missed jumps or something like that, that would also explain how they missed out on the rest of the heresy. And when they arrive wherever they are, they've been counted as traitors or something along those lines. Maybe that's a possibility. I'm just throwing it out there. Gideon Gleeful points out with a super chat. Thank you very much. I have made a work in progress logo. It's posted in the Lawhammer Discord Lorebeards channel. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
I made it paint for limited artistry.
I like it. I could dig it.
Yeah, that works. That works pretty good. Not bad, says Micah. Not bad. And Hawk says, did you get the amendment? Oh, well, I'm sure he's going to take care of that. All right. So anyway, maybe they also got teleported by Tzeentch like the Thousand Sons, says Micah. Yeah, that also did happen. There were a lot of missing Space Wolves after Prospero. many of whom became the 13th Company. So yeah, that could also be a thing. Is they vanished the same time the Thousand Suns did, and then when they reappear, either they're on the planet of sorcerers or they're on some other demon world, or maybe that's when they end up on the Space Hulk. Just
yeah,
they just appear there on the Space Hulk and they're like, okay, we're not sure how this happened. The Space Hulk should probably get a name of some kind.
Yeah, the Space Hulk definitely needs a name.
The Grinning Skull. The Grinning Skull would be a great name for a Space
Oh.
Hulk. I'm just gonna say.
That does sound really good for. Yeah, that does. Oh,
and what would be hilarious is if they're the first Space Marines to ever meet Kroot. That they met Kroot before it was cool.
Whoops, I can't spell to save my life. Nope, not grinding. Grinning, right? For grinning?
Right.
Anyway, we'll just leave that there and call it good.
Fair enough.
Oh, the Eternal Laughter is also really good.
Eternal Laughter is really good. I think that's even better.
Yeah.
Got to go with that. Gideon says the Boneyard would be a good name as well.
Oh, that's also good.
Eternal Boneyard? Let's just put them together.
But I like the laughter.
Laughing Boneyard. Nope. Okay. All right, don't blame me. I'll send all your comments to Norn Queen Alexis at.
Send all the hate to me. But
address your comments to.
Yes.
The Bone Zone, says New Boot Goof. The Bone Zone.
That's what I was trying to.
If they were Slaanesh, that would work.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's funny. I dig that. You guys are great. Boneyard of the Laughing Skull, says Grim Isaac. Boneyard I think the Boneyard is their strike cruiser or something like that, like their little ship.
Yeah, we gotta add that. Like,
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Is it a battle barge or a strike cruiser?
I think strike cruiser. They're only slightly above strength, remember? Boneyard. God, so they meet the Kroot on board the Space Hulk, and they need allies. And the Kroot know how to pilot the Space Hulk. That's why they team up. And over time, the corruption just kind of sinks in with the Quill Sword leading the way. They force feed the Kroots chaos meat, tainted meat, so they start to transform. And now and over the centuries of them raiding the Imperium, they probably just become more and more hyena-like, and the Kroot become more and more incorporated with their group. And then they end up clashing with the Tau. They end up clashing with the Gorgon's Talons. They pick up a Chaos Knight and some renegade Astra Militarum unit, probably from Armageddon or
I got you on this one.
Okay.
The Chaos Knight finds them in the Space Hulk.
There you go. That's cool.
Because it's been there the entire time.
It's like the oldest part of the Space Hulk is this Chaos Knight and his little area. That would be cool. Yeah. And so they come out and the newly demon princess Zuvasan leading his group. They come out, and who's the first people they meet? The Gorgon's Talons. The first Gorgon's Talons chapter master dies to the Quill Sword. His blood transformed into ink forever. The Gorgon's Talons are horrified. Some of them get captured and get added to the ranks of the Cackling Death. While the Gorgon's Talons go, they regroup, they elect a new chapter master, and now there's a rivalry between these two forces.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Micah says, I believe their terror tactic is to use telepathic laughter that makes people go insane, and also join the laughter. Well, it's kind of like the Joker, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Joker gas.
So the planet dies not with a bang, but with a laugh.
I like that a lot.
Why so serious, Imperium? You want to know how I got these scars? It started on the Space Hulk with the sword that turns the people in ink.
It starts. My father went to Prospero.
Wow, that's too easy. All right. So this, I think I think we have a warband. I think we've built a warband. It is now in its final stages. Do we have some
Oh,
minis
I
to
just
look
thought
at?
of something. I just thought of something. Okay. All
All right.
right. So we need a reason why the demon princess is the demon princess. Now we can't do the whole female space marine because that always causes an argument.
Okay.
But she's the captain of the strike cruiser.
Ah, like Latara.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Suvasan is the one that she was the captain of the strike cruiser who then
Yes.
took leadership when she picked up the quill sword.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So we did talk about Lotara Saren earlier, and now this is a Lotara Saren-esque type character who has become a demon prince, a demon princess. Yeah. So Lotara Saren's final fate, by the way, is she got absorbed into the Conqueror, which is the flagship of the World Eaters. It's a very unfortunate end for a really cool character. She essentially is the ship.
I mean, she is still there. Like,
it's like I would have preferred a different result, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, same. I would have preferred her still alive in 40K. Just almost demonic looking.
She technically is still alive, but not the way you're thinking. Not the way you're thinking.
Yeah.
Technically correct. That's kind of correct.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
I love the idea that she's just the ship. It's so cool. Because there are other machine spirits that are former pilots of the ships that are just kept in like giant jars, and their brain is still hooked up to the ship.
Games Workshop loves the whole idea of the pilot leaves behind something. This is true for Titans. It's true for their Imperial ships. It's true for the Eldar armor of the Phoenix Lords and the Exarchs. They keep this echo of the former guy a thing. It's a theme that runs throughout a lot of their material.
Yeah.
Knights do it too.
Yep. The knight reaching into the warp and grabbing their pilot's soul and pulling it back in. That was such a cool scene.
When did that happen?
That happens in oh my god, it's one of the Imperial Knight books. But the knight itself reaches into the warp and grabs the soul of their pilot and adds it to their machine spirit.
Andy Clark wrote some really damn good knight novels. I think Freeblade is one of them. Go check those out.
God, I can't remember what book it is.
Do we have minis to review this week?
Let me double check. I don't think we have too many, so I think I'll save these for next or Saturday.
Okay.
Because it looks like we only have about 2 people that posted. So if you guys want to be a part of this, all you have to do is post your miniatures in the Lorebeards Discord under 40K miniatures. I honestly don't care what kind of miniatures they are. It's just so that they're all in one spot so I can take all the pictures. Because I posted Miao Ying there and a couple of other fantasy miniatures. But this way we can talk about them and everything and, you know, look at some cool miniatures. We don't have enough this week, so we will do this on Saturday. So I guess we'll just continue talking about our crazy chapter.
Friend or Trader has a super chat. Since people are talking about the Lion King, I vote that their war cry is "Be prepared." Make it so. Be prepared. The battle cry. I love it. Love it. Great idea.
Let's put that under here. Boop. Oh, God dang it.
Be prepared is the war cry of the cackling death.
Be prepared.
This is so cool. I dig it. So you've got Hyena Thunderwolves. You've got Kroot allies. So all the crew, but it's just Chaos crew.
Mm-hmm. We have some militia in there as well because a warband must have like crazy cultists and everything.
They had the option to vote for cult. They chose something else. So.
Well, they could be like the what is that one? The World Eaters, not World Eaters, the Coronate Astromilitarum guys. What are they called? The Blood Pact. They could be something similar to that.
Well, that's what. Okay, so we have the combat engineers, which are kind of like that.
Yeah. So that's what they are. They're just dedicated to the Chaos Gods. Okay. So they're not cultists because they're trained.
Fair enough. Is it New Boot Goof says, isn't that the Boy Scouts motto? It is. It's right. I think the Boy Scouts are always prepared. Actually, I could be wrong.
I'm not sure. I know
I'm gonna
that
have
they
to look that
changed
one up.
from Boy Scouts to Scouts because they kept losing a whole bunch of members.
Well, yeah. Well, there was a lot of. I don't want to get into it, but there's a lot.
Yeah,
going
there's
on
a lot
with
of
that.
problems with them. But anyway, sounds like an Iron Warriors thing. No, they shout that to the Iron Warriors.
No,
And
it's
the
be
Iron Warriors are
prepared.
like,
The scout motto is be prepared. So yeah, we're copying that, but it's fine. It's fine. I think it's fine.
I think
Listen,
it works.
Games Workshop has copied a lot of things, including whole
What?
names like Lionel Johnson, who is an actual poet.
Games Workshop has never lifted
Right.
any other
No,
IP.
never, not once.
I can't deal with this slander.
So here's a good question. Matthew Lowry 1084 says, "What about rules? What are the rules? Do we have tabletop rules for this chapter?"
Okay, so one, the Demon Prince would just be a Demon Prince, but the enhancement would be the Quill Blade, and the Quill Blade would every time this model destroys a unit would regen at D3 wounds. That I think would be the easiest. It wouldn't be the greatest piece of war gear, but it would still be pretty cool. I don't want to make anything that's too powerful, so I think that would be the Quill Blade. The flail would be. So I'd have to look at the Dark Angel flail. I think it's something similar to it. Let me just look up the Dark Angels really quickly.
If I may, I would suggest it is functionally a Thunderhammer or a functionally a Power Scythe, one of those two.
I would give it this. I would give it the Mace of Absolution, which is it's way better than a Thunderhammer. Thunderhammers are kind of unfortunately pretty bad right now. But I would put it more like the Mace of Absolution, where it would have 4 to 5 attacks. It would be hitting on 2+, strength 6, AP -2, 2 damage, anti-monster, anti-vehicle, 4+. So it would wound any monster or vehicle on 4+. It's just the Mace of Absolution, but as an enhancement. So you could throw this on any of your characters and give them like a really, really good weapon. So if you throw this on a Chaos Lord, he then has this plus devastating wounds.
Nubu Goof suggested they get healed by nearby corpses. So there's a really great rule for this from Horus Heresy, I believe. If you wipe out an enemy unit in melee, you can regain wounds, which is true, but you can't follow. You have to stay stationary. So you're sitting there eating and getting wounds back, but you can't move, which I think is kind of that's the way I would suggest doing that one. Sam Hobbs 9116 says power claws, many power claws. A special unit of guys with power claws would be pretty rad.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Their possessed would have power claws then. I wouldn't. Weirdly enough, I would not give them Terminator armor.
Yeah, no Terminators. They're not into that.
I think they want to move fast and they want to experience like almost Slaneshi levels of wanting to experience the battle, where Terminator armor is like denying them that.
Zangors, they gotta have Zangors, right? They gotta.
Yeah, but they have something even scarier than Zangors. They have the Zangnolls.
Gnolls. Yeah, their Zangors are Gnolls, but yes, they have Beastmen, pseudo marine Beastmen, which I think was something that was brought up early and we didn't get back to it until now.
Yeah.
Pseudo marine Beastmen, which hang out with the
there it is.
maybe the Beastmen, the pseudo marine Beastmen are the claw users, the power claws.
Yeah. I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Friender Traders.
Hyenagors,
yeah.
Yep. Their possessed units would be the hyenas, the Wolfen, essentially. And I would make their rules very similar to Wolfen. 2 attacks apiece, 4-up invulnerable save, make it a Tzeentch invulnerable save, and just give them anti-monster, anti-vehicle. A lot of this army would be like, they hit really hard, but they don't deal a lot of damage.
They're definitely melee. I'm not seeing a lot of ranged attacks here.
No, they're not going to be doing too much ranged. In fact, I would actually say that they don't take a lot of demon engines, but they can have an ally rampager into their army, because any chaos army can have a knight rampager join them.
So the ranged attacks are the Hellbrute, Hawker the Risen Foot. So yeah, their ranged attacks are 2 big beefy machine boys. A knight and the Hellbrute are their ranged attacks.
Now, I would make since Bjorn is known as a close combat character, I would make Harker different. I would make him a ranged character. He'd have double weapons.
Yeah.
And he would just go crazy firing. So I'd give him the ability to take D3 wounds, but add D3 to his weapons for firing.
There's a Heresy era dreadnought called the Deredeo, which is just ranged weapons. So he's a Hellbrute based on a Deredeo, is what I would suggest.
Yep. The good old speedboat.
Yeah, the speedboat. Yeah, unfortunately, it's unfortunate but true.
Yeah. The Kroot would be their infiltrator units, very much scouting ahead of the army itself.
And winning tournaments.
Yes.
I put my whole army into reserve. Are you sure?
The power flails would be their accursed weapons. So anything that has accursed weapons, you just make a flail and they would use that. Aside from that, I think that
the Gnolls, the Zen Gnolls should use the power flails.
Yes, they should. Aside from that, I think their army-wide rule would be they could put more things into Deep Strike as if they're teleporting around the battlefield. I would say that they get something similar to the current edition of Space Marines where they have the Deep Striking detachment, but not as crazy. They can pick 3 units that gain Deep Strike, and they can put those 3 units in reserve. I'd make one of their enhancements be something where they can come in within 6 inches but can't charge. Let's see. What other kind of rules would I give this army? I think pretty much that. I think it'd be really cool. Like, I'd field it. I'd try it out. I don't want to make anything that's too powerful.
Those are good rules. I like those rules, Alexis. I was going to say, if you guys think we're, I would love to hear your feedback on these, build a thing, because we love it. We really enjoy it and we want to do more. If there's some aspect of this that is not quite like you want to see, like, you want to see us add a particular aspect to the build section, please let us know through the Discord. If Hawk, would you do me a favor and put the Discord into the chat, please? For people who don't know, we have a very active Discord for Lorebeards. You can go there. You can talk to us. You can talk to other fans. There's a whole 40K section. There's a whole section for posting miniature pictures. It's very active, and I would highly recommend that if you're enjoying Lorebeards, please go to the Discord and become part of our community. We'd really appreciate that. Ricky Chapman, 3377.
Sorry, I clicked it also.
Give the Hellbrute a jump pack. Okay,
so
sold.
Hear me out on this. I would do one of 2 things. One, I would give it a jump pack, but I would make him a Contemptor Dreadnought instead of the regular box Dreadnought, because the Contemptor Dreadnought does have a jump pack that can be added to it in the Blood Angel army.
Yeah, there's a specific design for the Blood Angels that they have a jump pack one.
I could definitely see that they stole the design from them. Okay?
Yeah.
But I raise you a macro teleportation device that just lets it move as if it has fly. So it teleports to a new spot.
Which is very Zinchian.
Yes. Or it like walks. It could be like the Be'lakor one where it walks into the shadows and then reappears somewhere.
I think we have to give him the jump pack because he asked specifically for the jump pack. It's the only thing he wants. So yeah, we're gonna go for the jump pack. But you're right. I mean, teleporting around is also cool. But maybe that's how the Sand Gnolls get around, as they teleport. Micah says, I love homebrewing, so I like this a lot. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
one of the best things about the 40K hobby is the ability, the encouragement that is given to people who are part of the hobby to create their own stories, their own armies, their own characters. I came in to this hobby through people playing Epic and people playing 2nd edition, but I know of people that have come in because of the novels. They've come in because of
artwork.
People, yeah. There's actually some really great memes and things out there that also bring people in, and a lot of times those are of custom or special chapters or things that people have just come up with on their own. I know I was inspired to create the Storm Wardens chapter off of a chapter that was created on Bolter and Chainsword. So like I said, it's this hobby thrives on creativity. It thrives on homebrewing and building your own thing. And that's one of the things that is so exciting about shows like this one, because we're kind of showcasing to you what it's like to create your own lore that's part of the universe. Sam Hobbs 9116 is more interested in making things than uses provided things. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yep.
Love it.
That is one of the best parts of the hobby, is just creating your own custom chapter and then constantly adding to it. Like, one of the things that I used to do constantly with my Sons of Garrow is that I would write down notable things that my captains did during the games, and then I would write lore for them doing those things during, like, just on the side, like, during this battle at Blacktooth Ridge, my Tech Marine Tyrellian Pin destroyed. Actually, that's my Master of the Forge. Destroyed the Orc Warlord Guts Ripper by bashing his head in with the plasma portion of his servo harness and blasting his brains out.
Micah suggests that we should maybe add a unique Thousand Suns dreadnought gifted to them for siding with Prospero. Well, they didn't really. I mean, our story doesn't have them siding with so much as not enjoying the attack, but it is an interesting idea that Tzeentch has gifted them some sort of unique dreadnought. That is really cool.
The dreadnought has a giant disc of Tzeentch that it flies on.
Oh, sold. Giant disc. The jump pack is a disc of Tzeentch. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Dang it. I hate where the sledge.
And Games Workshop would make this model because it would be very expensive.
Yes.
that is a great idea. Nice. Well done. Goofy but perfect, says Micah.
Yes, it's like a magic carpet.
Yeah, it's so goofy, but that's 40K. I mean, we're literally
it's on a chariot.
No, that's not a chariot. All right. I think we might just turn this over into an AMA for the last 15 minutes or so of the show today, because I think we've pretty much done what we can do here.
Yeah, I really like what we created. The cackling.
I feel like if we go too much further, we're going to ruin with something that's already great.
Yeah.
All right, so man. What do you got? Please, ask us anything. We'd like to, show us your questions. I think we could probably answer whatever you want to hear about us, warbands, any future shows, stuff like that. Sam Hobbs, how would you do 40K Skaven? Short answer, I wouldn't. And Andy Law has a really good point about this. He says Skaven are one of the unique things that hold up Warhammer Fantasy, and doing them in 40K would kind of undermine. Yeah, I know that's a pun. Undermine Skaven's uniqueness. However, because this is an AMA, I will entertain the idea. I would do them as a minor Xenos race that has a subterranean civilization. They would definitely be aligned with Chaos, but they would be aligned with like kind of Chaos Undivided. And a lot of their weapons would use a strange type of energy, some kind of not Warpstone, but some kind of you could even create them. Well, you could if you wanted to. There's a Xenos race called the Uvoth that used very strange energy weapons, and some people believe they were energy beings. So maybe the Uvoth were destroyed by the 40K Skaven, and they took their weapons. So you have these like crystalline rattling guns and stuff like that would be kind of part of that's. I don't know. I'm spitballing, but that's how I would do it.
I can tell you how you can play Skaven in Heresy.
Militia.
You take the Imperial Militia, you give them the Unending Swarm and the Corrupted archetype, and they every time they die, the entire unit comes back. You do full units of 20 to 50 men, and you just rats everywhere.
Got a super chat from Ricky Chapman 3377. Also a stream suggestion: react to a fan with too much time Star Wars versus Warhammer series, not the whole thing, but a couple of episodes. It's a fantastic story. Okay. I'm not opposed to this. This is good. As Alexis points out, in any kind of verses with Warhammer, although that's also going to be a show we do. is that it depends on whose rules are in play. Because if the Warhammer rules are, if the 40K rules are in play, Star Wars is kind of screwed. But the opposite is also true. If Star Wars rules are in play and the warp does not exist, then anyway.
Yeah. Then there's the whole thing of are we talking the full fleets? Because then it doesn't matter what you have against the Imperial fleets. There's over 1 billion ships.
There's a lot of ships. Micah says maybe I think he's talking about the Siege Dreadnought. Maybe he has a couple of blue horrors around him, kind of like little nerdlings. Oh, that would be sculpted onto the model.
No,
that
carrying them cool. Around.
Well, maybe, or like holding little banners or something like that. I could see it either way. That's really cool. Hawk Oddly says, reverse, how would you fantasy Tyranids?
Okay, Ooh. So I have thought about this quite a bit. Tyranids would be a small Tyranids would be a small race that appears out of the mountains. But they would have to appear out of a mountains that is in the Chaos Waste, but not belonging to, like, it would be weird. They would appear out of somewhere. They would appear out of essentially Australia, and they would come through the world. And as they consume, they would start replicating. Their psychic scream would actually be, is it Haish or is it Death? Oh, what wind of magic would they be using?
Not death. They would not be using death. I think they'd be using.
It might actually be
beasts. It might be life, or it might be beasts.
Yeah. Oh, I would go with life. And their psychic scream ability, that the shadow and the warp, would actually just be something that just overpowers wizards. And every time they try to cast, it's like an auto deny because the screaming is so intense. And in Warhammer Fantasy, the louder you can scream, the more effective your spells are. And that is really funny to me. And if your opponent can scream a counterspell louder than you could scream your spell, that's how you fight with spells. So I'd assume that the Tyranid Shadow and the Warp would be a constant negation of magical effects. And they would be resurrecting their fallen with the life magic. So that's how I would do it. And then they would be bringing back their bodies instead of just consuming their own bodies. It'd be like resurrecting them. Yeah, I would see them as a plague insect that comes through every now and then gets beaten back and then comes through again. So it's a constant threat that, if left unattended, destroys the entire existence.
More locust, less xenomorph.
Yeah.
Godzilla Rex 100 says, I missed the first part of the stream. Who is this warband descended from gene-wise? The Space Wolves. They are a Space Wolves chapter that has gone renegade.
Yep. And then heretical. And then mega heretical. And now have a kick-flipping dreadnought that rides a disc of Tzeentch.
Matthew Lowry 1084 says, a Lost Primarch build with a Lost Legion. Been thinking about it for a while. Woo! That would be wild to do that one. I agree. That would be kind of interesting. Micah asks, what do you think is the best match for 40K in terms of sci-fi? Match like a versus?
Oh, it has to be Star Wars. Like they both, like in terms of actual like what can match 40K, it has to be something on the level of 40K. Starship Troopers does a really good job of showing like the scale of their weaponry, but the book itself doesn't actually explain war at all. It explains like some things, but doesn't tell you the exact numbers of things, doesn't tell you how big their overall galaxy is or what they control or anything. And a lot of older sci-fis tend not to do that. There's a lot of 80s sci-fis that could be really cool. I would do squad on squad matchups, like a group of cyberpunks versus a group of Astartes, like 5v5.
Mass Effect or Halo on a squad level would be interesting.
Yeah, Mass Effect or Halo would be good. The one I would like to see is Vault-Tec versus the AdMech.
Wow. That's a race to the bottom right there.
Yeah.
Wow. They do have a lot of robots on both sides too, because Robco is part of Vault-Tec. Okay, wow.
So every time I read about Dune, I'm always disappointed with Dune. In
Do
terms
it.
of reading it as a military sci-fi, you
Well,
have to read it as it's not a military sci-fi. It is a sci-fi that has military aspects to it, but it's not like something that's based around war.
well, Dune is
It's
of course
based
not.
around.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
It's based around more of galactic politics than actual the battles themselves.
Well, Dune is one of the foundational bricks of 40K, so that's a
Yeah.
very it's almost a mirror match because there's just a lot of things that are very common between them. But it's an interesting idea. Ricky Chapman 3377 says the Star Wars versus Warhammer series is actually an audiobook style story about an Imperial fleet entering the Star Wars galaxy with some great interaction. Oh,
That could be cool. That could be
audiobook.
really cool.
Okay, interesting. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Hawk says, so when are we going to have an Alexis versus Ross tabletop game? We live very far apart.
Yeah, I mean, we could do tabletop
very
sim.
far apart. That would be the only way we could make that work, would be some
Yeah,
sort of
and I hate tabletop sim.
virtual tabletop. And
Did we get this one?
oh, Squirtle Squaddy. Love that.
Great name.
I had a question about the canon episode on orcs. If they no longer have the imagination power, then why do different colors affect them differently? Or is that not canon anymore either? The orcs believe it. The orcs believe it to be true. There is no longer a supernatural effect, is what we're trying to say, of the colors. It's the orcs are like, yes, red ones go faster, and they think that's true. Is it actually true? Not really. That's how that works, unfortunately.
So I still think the power of belief is still a little bit there. Wishful thinking on my part, but there is a psychological condition where you believe that certain color cars move faster than they actually do, and red is one of the cars that tend to look like they're going faster than they actually are, and it's because of how our eyes perceive colors.
Interesting. Yeah, we did an episode on what is canon in 40K. That's what Squirrel Squatty's talking about here. If you want to go check it out, we did cover a lot of things, including some weirdness about how new orcs, the current canon for orcs is a little less fun than it used to be, which is a shame. But here's hoping that they reverse that, because I'd really love to see the power of belief come back as a thing. It was very important to me in my enjoyment of orcs.
I agree with that.
Yarick lives because of orcs is shit Sam Hobbs. That's what I believed for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
How many Titans to kill a Gundam?
So many. Oh my god, a Gundam would annihilate Titans like they're nothing.
Depends on the Gundam, though.
Yes, true.
Very much depends on the Gundam. If we're playing by the rules of Gundam Wing, they're made out of Gundanium, so like that's a question of like what kind of weapons would actually affect them. In Gundam Wing, the Gundams only ever really got destroyed by destroying themselves, which is odd. They did take damage, though, from other. They were able to be damaged by other Gundams. Then, generally speaking, Titans are really strong, though. And they have void shields, which Gundams don't. But Gundams have beam sabers,
which Titans are very weak against.
I mean, and then there's new types and just all this, and like they had a nuclear powered Gundam in 0083. So yeah, who knows, man? I mean, that's a fun question to ask. Transformers versus 40K. I think 40K is going to win that one. That's one planet.
Optimus by himself can pretty much tank most of 40K.
I don't think so.
Until he's hit by like the Flare virus, the Destroyer virus,
Listen, he died to one shot from Megatron. So how tough is he really? He's not that tough.
Well, that's the whole Goku argument. Goku's not that tough because one jackass with a laser shot him and nearly killed him. Which I still argue anybody can kill Goku if they take him by surprise.
Gideon Gleeful points out he made a very work in progress Hero Forge leader on the Lawhammer Discord. If we can grab that image, that'd be really great.
Let me see if I can find it. Where did you post it?
Lawhammer Discord. Probably the same place you found the logo is what I'm guessing.
Can you just tag me so I can find it quicker? I do not have the brain
capacity. All right, we'll look for it, Gideon Gleeful. We will look for it. Yeah, Transformers. It's one planet of robots. I don't see them being able to. I love Transformers. Don't be wrong. I'm a big Transformers fan. Dinobots forever. My favorite Transformer is Grimlock by far.
Oh, there it is.
But yeah, I don't see them winning that fight. I really just don't.
I don't think they win the overall fight. I think they'll take out a couple of Titans.
Well, if Optimus Prime is alive, then I think he ends up with the Ultramarines. You know, somewhere.
No.
Him and Gilliman get along a little bit. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. But he's too heroic. He's too good. Frankly, Optimus Prime is too
much
good.
Of a good guy.
He's way too much of a good guy. Oh, we have the picture. There it is.
This is what he made.
Oh, like hey, look at that. There's the quill sword. Check it out. That is Zuvasin right there.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Interesting. Huh. All right. Yeah, Gundams might be a good matchup though.
Yeah.
That surprised me when I thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, shit, Gundams are really tough.
Oh wait, what is it? Virus bombing Cybertron would do almost nothing.
Well,
they're kind of immune to all viruses. Okay. It depends on the writer. It really depends on the writer and the comics that you're currently following.
Keep in mind that virus bombs don't actually, it's not about the virus. It's about turning the air into napalm.
Yeah, they walk through that.
Well, they don't need to breathe. So there's that. The fire and the heat, though, is pretty freaking strong. I mean, Dreadnoughts got destroyed.
They jump from orbit to the ground.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Yeah. But we're not doing the verse episode.
Matt Lowry says Reaper's Mass Effect controlled by Shep and all races might hold up for a bit. Mass Effect as a universe is it's a contender. It's a contender. I don't know about the whole thing, but see the mass devices and the biotics. There's a lot of things in Mass Effect that are a good counter to 40K stuff. So there's that. Hawk says that Lorebeards just added you on the.
I think that's where I got it.
You got it. Okay, good. We're all set on that then. All right. Any other questions? Because we're almost at the end of our stream here today. And I think on behalf of Alexis and myself, we're very, very grateful to all of you, the community, the Lorebeards community. You guys are great. And this is a fantastic example of why I enjoy doing the show so much. And I think Alexis enjoys it a great deal.
I love them. I absolutely love them. I think they're fantastic. I'm just still thinking, like, what can survive? Like, the craziest weapon in 40K right now that I know of is the stupid Arc Mechanicus that can fire out of its Nova Cannon, can fire a torpedo that explodes into a black hole. And it's like, what the hell survives that? And in all of these versus matches, because I'm thinking about it now, we have to take it at the, like, you take it at the peak.
Right, the strongest.
Yeah.
It only works if they're at their strongest. Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise we're going to have like a ship show up with like barely any ammunition in it, because that's how Warhammer ships are. They barely have ammo in them. They don't like to engage in combat. They like to fly around each other if they can. They tend to run silent when they're trying to pass each other. But like if it's an actual battle, like a battle group going to a war, they're going to arm themselves. They're going to make sure they have everything. So it's like, what are they bringing? And then surviving it is the crazier thing.
Here's a thought for Transformers. Scrap code.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was trying to think of that.
Wait. Imagine Decepticons, Chaos Transformers, basically, because they get the scrap code in them and they all just are like, destroy the Imperium. You know, Megatron's up there like, we must destroy the Imperium. And he's got like the 8-pointed star. Oh, that would be kind of sweet.
It's the Men of Iron.
Right? I mean, it's kind of like the Men of Iron, a little bit, yeah.
I still, to this day, believe that the Men of Iron were a joke on Transformers.
It fits the time period. But we are at the end of our stream here today. So thank you guys again for everything. Alexis, any final thoughts?
Silly stuff. I did not expect another bird-based chapter.
They're not. They're technically not. They're hyenas that have bird allies.
Hyena burbs.
All right,
did not expect that. But I absolutely loved it, and I love that we now have a rival to our other chapter, the Gorgon's Talons. We have the Crackling Death. It's Cackling Death, sorry. I love it. I think it's great. I'm excited to see what part 2 of this goes into, because I want to do an actual battle group, a breakdown of their entire chapters, because that's one of my favorite things is logistics. Lorebeards.
Remember, in the grim darkness of the far future,
there is only burbs.
And lore. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you next week.
Love you guys.